Welcome to the Tone Lounge Podcast, the definitive music industry and gear podcast with Jonathan Gilmet and Frank Fleckenstein.
What's up, guys? Good morning and welcome to the Tone Lounge Podcast. It is episode number 27, and for a change, we have a guest today. And some people might actually not know him. I think it's very unlikely that people don't know him, but I'll introduce him anyways.
Some people call me the Space Cowboy.
Do they call you Maurice?
My wife calls me the Gangster of Love.
Oh, damn it.
With us today, Henning Pauly, aka Eytschpi42. Good morning.
Which is my initials, by the way, for the people that, don't get the joke.
I was one of them. I didn't get it.
Everyone doesn't get it.
Okay. And with me as well today, the Duke of Voxington, the mighty Jonathan Gilmet, coming in live, still from Belgium. When are you moving over to Canada?
I'm still, I'm leaving on the 20th, going back to Canada, so.
Damn it.
Mm-hmm. I'm sad.
Well,
sad face.
Belgium's lost. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're mourning. They're going to be in mourning, I'm telling you.
The whole country.
The whole fucking country.
The king, everyone, they're pleading with me. They're asking me, could you stay? And I'm like, I've run out of ideas of videos to make here in Belgium. I have to get inspired back in Canada. So, it is what it is.
It is what it is. Before we actually start this, we promised that we are going to do our giveaway this episode. So let me just share my screen with you guys. Deep. And there we have.
Give me a sec. Leslie, can I help you?
Oh, yes, I didn't want to
What?
interrupt.
What's going on?
Can I use a box from a different guitar for the ghost one?
Yeah, I can.
There's an Fender box in the guitar.
Yeah, use that.
Okay.
Leslie's selling guitars and she needs a box.
Makes sense.
To make that money.
Makes sense. So let's pick the first one. The first one is going to be for the limited edition pink Jupiter Effects Wallow. And who is it gonna be?
Could it be me? No.
It is Major McCheese.
Major McCheese.
That's
a cool handle.
It's Mayor McCheese.
Mayor McCheese.
Oh, well, that's even better because it's better than Major because Major's kind of low in rank, but Mayor
come on.
McCheese.
Yeah.
Dude.
So Mayor McCheese, whatever your real name might be, please get in touch with us. Leave a comment under this video or just send an email to tonelongepc@gmail.com and we'll send out the Jupiter Effects Wallow in limited pink edition. Mayor McCheese, congratulations.
You are lucky.
You're lucky. And what's the other pedal we're giving away? Remind me.
We are giving away a Arc of Tone, the FFX pedals Arc of Tone, but limited edition, very limited. There's only one of them in this color, and we're giving that one away.
Okay, then let's pick.
Can I win that one?
I'm not sure. Are you publicly subscribed?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, let me do it right now.
Chat Boston.
No,
Too late.
Too late, dude.
Chat Boston. That sounds like a more regular name to me than Mayor McCheese.
Yeah.
So
It
Chat
sounds
Boston.
like someone I'm friends with. I think I'm friends with that person on Facebook.
Awesome. Even better.
So
he's definitely going to know that he's won the Arc of Tone. So Chad, please get in touch with us. Leave a comment under this video or write an email to tonelongepc@gmail.com and we'll send out the Arc of Tone.
And I'll make a post on our community tab over on YouTube. So Mayor McCheese and what's the other one? Chad Boston. Boston Chad. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I'm gonna put both of those names up. I'm gonna be trying as best as I can to put it weekly until you guys see the post.
Awesome.
Hopefully we don't have to do a draw again for these pedals. That would be better if the people could see it right away.
Yeah.
But, I'm going to try my best to reach out to them.
Awesome. Cool. As I mentioned before, I don't think that Henning really needs an introduction because if you are into gear, guitar gear, and checking out guitar gear on YouTube, it's very unlikely that you haven't stumbled across his channel. But I'm going to do it anyways, and I'm going to ask the question anyways. So, Henning, when and why did you start a guitar gear related YouTube channel?
maybe 12?
2012. Okay.
Because I bought a MXR Dynacomp because I wanted to do the hybrid-y chicken picky country stuff because that's my jam.
Okay.
I'm surprised.
No, I wanted to,
Sounds about right.
I wanted to do more, practice these things, and then I heard that, when you do country, you need a compressor, which of course makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's one of the preferred ones. Interestingly, one that never appeared on the channel ever. And so I bought that and bought it at Thomann, and I was a guitar teacher, and I had very little money, but I had some money left over. And I thought, hey, what is this? Harley Benton. Oh, these are dirt cheap pedals. I might as well order two and see if they're good. And I ordered the something drive, which is the OCD clone. I can never remember.
Ultimate Drive.
Yeah.
Ultimate drive.
That one.
And the American Sound, whatever that is. And they arrived. I don't think I ever did anything with the Dynacomp. And I plugged those in and I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I had a YouTube channel where I posted private videos of vacations and the dogs, and I have one or two little lessons on solos that I had written. Nothing in any way to get clicks from people or build a community. That was never the idea. YouTube was there. That's where you shared videos with your friends, for me.
Yeah.
And so I thought, hey, I made some videos anyway. And I had my friend and student Moritz over, who's a fantastic guitar player. So we might as well film him and film the pedal on the table. And I comment the whole thing with a very good mic in front of me. So it had good audio. It had and there was video. You could see the pedal. I think filmed with a webcam. And which is weird, because I'm a producer, I have a recording studio, and I've done 20 plus albums. Getting a good guitar sound is not new things to me. It's not, it's not like, oh, how do I get the sound? It's fascinating when you have YouTube channels saying, oh, before I did YouTube, I never recorded a guitar. Or channels that have been doing YouTube for 17 years and have hundreds of thousands of subscribers and still cannot record guitar. Which is, not going to name names, not going to name and shame people, but these people exist. So for me, getting a good sound out of something, but that's what I do. That's my job. So it sounded good. Moritz is a good player, and it was filmed halfway decent. And then these two videos for those two pedals took off. And I said, I had no idea there was such a thing as gear videos. And at that point, who was around? Mike Hermans, Pro Guitar Shop, Andy, Gearman Dude, the Tone King, Phil McKnight, maybe.
Ola Englund?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did playthroughs of amps. Yep. At that point in time.
I think there were, like Keith Merrow and a few other guys like that were around around the same time, 2012.
But doing but straight out pedal videos. Oh, Shane from In the Blues.
Yeah. Right.
And very, very, very few people actually did cheapo Chinese pedals in good quality. Because Pro Guitar Shop didn't do that. Mike Hermans didn't do that. So the videos that existed for Joyo / Harley Benton pedals were all like some more noob guy player that couldn't afford anything else with their phone, which at that point was bad quality, with the pedal sitting on their amp and room audio. They were not good videos. They weren't. Shane did that stuff, there was good stuff, but there were very few videos of decent content. So these kind of popped out to the people, and that's how it started. And then I talked to Toman and said, well, would you send me the rest of the line, and I would do the same thing. So I got the rest of the line after some negotiation. YouTube was new to Toman at that point. And of course, I just got the pedals. I was pretty happy. I got cheapo Chinese pedals. And then there were some pedals that Toman didn't have as OEM pedals from Joyo. So I talked to Joyo, and they sent me some stuff, and that's how it started. Also started several years of working with Joyo directly and going to China and helping as an advisor and so on. But yeah, in the beginning, as on many channels, it started with we give you a free sample China pedals.
Yeah.
And that's again, the Dynacomp never appeared anywhere. Never made a video about it. I still have it, and I'll never sell it because that's what started the channel.
Yeah.
But literally, Harley Benton started the channel.
Yeah, and you also, I mean, that the relationship with that you have with Toman specifically, that relationship exists until today, pretty much, right? You're still working with them on a regular basis.
Yeah, it was a closer relationship at times when I did official videos for their websites, for the pedal pages. I did hundreds of those, and a lot of people changed in marketing, and your relationships are never with a brand. Never. Your
Always with
relationships
people,
are always
yeah.
with people.
Yeah.
So when the people change, you move with the people. Or you try to meet the new people, but there all of a sudden many new people, and so it's a more distant relationship now than it used to be. They had their main guitar buyer, Christian Wächler, very, very good guy, was with Thomann from the very beginning, and he was tragically killed helping someone that was broken down on the highway, and he was run over along with someone else. And
remember that.
with him dying and someone else getting in that position who just doesn't really care about even talking to us, I was told stuff I shouldn't say, but I was told, well, why would I give a crap what a stupid YouTuber says? Okay, well then, I'm not picking up the phone to talk to that person anymore.
Yeah.
And there's, of course, shops that do give a crap what a stupid YouTuber says, because if I have a link to an amp under 150 videos, for example, because that was my main amp, and I just said, why don't you have that amp listed anymore? We now have a dead link under 150 videos, meaning we're not driving traffic there. And I can't get affiliate, you're not making sales. Wouldn't it be smart if you carry every other product from that brand to just have that product page still up so the link isn't dead? But I'm not going to change anything because a stupid YouTuber has any stupid links or something like that, So then we don't make you money. That's fine. But other shops actually are checking what is happening on YouTube, who has campaigns on YouTube, who's pushing hard right now, because of course, whatever is being pushed hard on YouTube means there is notoriety for the product, which means there might be more demand for the product, which means maybe we should have availability of that product because there will be demand driven by YouTube. So paying attention to what we're doing to a certain degree is maybe not the worst idea.
So you started in 2012. That means that's roughly 12 years of doing YouTube at this point.
Yep.
And well, from like looking back at that time and looking at where your channel is now, what do you kind of think is the hardest thing, the hardest task when you want to grow the channel? Because people always tell you like, well, it's constant content, you need to put out constant content and then your channel is going to grow. True, to some extent, that's the case. But we've seen examples where there's not much constant content, but still some people manage to grow their channels like heavy because the stuff just goes viral. So apart from constant content, what do you think is the hardest thing for someone who, well, starting a YouTube channel today is probably very, very, very different, a bit more challenging. But what do you think is the hardest thing that you need to do in order to grow your channel?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know how to grow a channel. I don't. I have a small channel. In the gear world, maybe not so. In YouTube terms, I have a tiny channel.
Absolutely, yeah.
And when you do gear videos, that's the world you live in. You know, when you have 30,000 subscribers, that's already a big gear channel, because it just isn't the format that will get you a lot of subscribers. Because, I mean, it's electric guitar gear reviews. That's pretty nerdy. Might as well, I mean, actually, if I made a channel on how to paint Warhammer figurines, I'd probably get more, and that's massively nerdy, but I'd probably get more subscribers, okay? So we're talking ultra niche stuff here.
Yeah.
If I talked about model trains, I'd have more subscribers. I could probably come up with 100 different formats that would get you more subscribers.
Yeah.
The thing that's a bit frustrating is when you look at other channels and you see they have a lot of subscribers, and you say, well, Robert Baker, for example. Robert's the opposite of me. He does lesson stuff, licks, with product placement. But if he does a gear video, nobody cares. If I do a lesson video, which I'm going to arrogantly say I'm pretty damn good at, because that's really what I'm actually strong at. I don't know about gear. I don't care about gear. But sorry, it's true.
Find that
it's
hard
fun,
to believe, but
it's gear is pretty much irrelevant. It's true. But if I do a lesson, nobody cares on my channel. I mean, when I upload a music video filmed on Hollywood level camera gear, fully produced with everything, like massively work intensive stuff, high quality, no clicks, nobody cares about music on a gear channel. And nobody really cares about gear on a lesson/music channel. And that's because I think there's a small group, of course, where it meets in the middle. Schnittmenge, whatever that is in English.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, what's the thing when you have the two circles and then the two booby circles come in the middle for like a middle boob that looks vagina shaped?
That's titty fuck.
No.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's what it is in English.
No, what's the mathematical vagina in the middle of the two circles?
Titty fuck.
No. No.
Dude, there's no other word for it. I mean, I could go politically correct here and kind of find like breast satisfactory station.
No,
I don't know.
What's the mathgina? The mathgina in the middle of the...
I think that's a German thing.
No.
I'm just pulling your chain here.
What
I'm
is it?
pulling your chain. I know what you're
Is
talking
the-
about.
it's-
It's where it crosses over. The two circles
I know,
crosses over.
common ground,
Eh,
something like that. Common
There's
ground.
a word for it.
There's a word for it.
So,
I like my word for it.
I like mathgina. That's
Mathgina is pretty good.
That's pretty good. So anyway, so there is this group of people who buys gear, and that's a great hobby, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'd rather have someone buying guitar gear and pedals and amps and decorate their house with it than put a 5,000, 10,000 euro guitar on the wall because it's got a nice grain, rather than some painting because fuck art. But it's more fun. You can actually play it. Okay, you can actually play it. But I'd rather have that than someone buying a VW Golf and putting rims on it for $20,000 because it's also a hobby. Spend your money on whatever. But there are people who spend the money on gear, and realistically, there might be hobby musicians. They might not even be. They might play 3 chords, and they actually think they can be John Mayer by buying the Klon or by buying the next high-end guitar. And practicing and lessons all that isn't going to actually get you the tone. The tone is going to come by buying high-end gear, which is obviously completely wrong. It's like me buying the next camera and then thinking it's going to look better because I have a very expensive camera without ever reading the manual for the other 30 cameras I have, which is literally what I do. I am that person in the camera world. I just buy more high-end camera gear in the hopes of that's going to make my videos better, which obviously it doesn't. So I'm the same guy. But then you have the people that have a halfway decent guitar, they have an amp or whatever, and they actually get kicks out of learning something about the instrument. They get kicks out of playing that Eddie riff, and they get kicks out of practicing and finding out more about harmony and technique, and they watch the lesson channels. Now, when they're being presented with a piece of gear on that channel, they're like, well, but you know what? My guitar does it. And if I put in 5 hours and I learn that solo that I want to learn, that's going to give me the endorphin kick that I want. So they're getting the kick and the push out of practicing and striving to be a better musician. And the others, they get a kick when the new pedal arrives. Both of it's totally fine, but that means that pushing gear on a lesson channel is not going to be the same as on a gear channel, because that drug that they want isn't the gear. They already have some of it. And me doing a lesson isn't giving them the drug that they want. They want the kick by spending money and buying a new pedal and then having a toy to play with, which motivates them to play them a couple more hours. And the math gina in the middle is, of course, the guy on my channel who has chops, who's also interested in gear, but they also can play and want to learn more about the instrument, and the guy on Baker's channel or Wallerman or anyone who also is interested in buying more gear. But usually I think there are these two camps, and they don't necessarily, in terms of format for a channel, intermingle too much.
But it happens to the best. It happens to the best, really. I mean, and I'm not saying this or that guy is the best, but I've heard the same story from what's his name, Stevie T. Stevie T, who has like how many, like 1.5 million subscribers or something.
4 million.
4 million
Close to 4
subscribers.
million.
Yeah. So 4 million subscribers, and you would assume that every video just hits, you know? Because, you know, he has his like kind of comedy scheme. You can find it funny, or people find it funny, other people don't. I personally, I find it very, very childish. That's just, it's not my type of humor. But he created this huge channel. Whenever he tries to do something that's not comedy, the videos bonk completely. They completely bonk. Yep. And then you see in the comments, people are like, what? No comedy? Hey, Stevie, when's the funny part coming? You know? Where it's like... It's like, how do you grow a channel? Well, what's the format? What are your viewers? Know your viewers. I know my viewers. They want to buy things. And Charlie from Orange said, you don't make the hype video. You make the last video someone watches before they buy or don't buy the piece of gear. Your video has everything in it so that they have the money in their hand. They watched the official Orange video, they watched someone else. I might have watched Ola chug on it, which isn't enough information if chugging isn't all I do. So then they are looking for the video that answers all the questions, including critique, including whatever, and sending something through the effects loop and different pedals and different guitars. So someone who was barely interested in it isn't going to arrive at my channel. They're not going to watch a 40-minute video on that amp. But someone who has the cash in hand and is willing to possibly buy it, they find my video. Charlie and I were both into drones, so I said, well, I had to watch 3 or 4 different videos to find out what's the battery life. The other video had it flying in the rain. The other video had another critique and something happening. So I needed 4 videos to actually get the information I needed in order to buy it. And he said, likely my video is the video that answers it all, which is why my affiliate links are clicked more, because it's the last video you watch before you buy. Which is why my videos sell more than my colleagues' videos, because it's probably the last one you watch. But I have to know my audience. They are not too interested in music.
could I talk about arranging and production more eloquently and better than about pedals? Yes, I know more about that stuff. They're not interested. Some of them are.
Yeah.
You know, if I do a production video, whatever, they don't do horribly, but they don't do as well as he's in Harley Benton.
So in order to achieve that, you would have to create a second channel that focuses just on that, and then grow that audience that's just interested in that kind of content.
The thing is, I'm also interested in making that kind of content, and I'd gladly throw that on my channel and have it do medium. But right now, Gear Street's coming up in 6 weeks, and I've got about 25 videos on my to-do list, and they're not small videos. They're like really involved. 25 videos to do. And the fact is, I need to eat. If I have videos that are paid, I need to do them first. They need to be done. So there's ideas. We all have ideas. Oh, that would be a cool video, and that would be a cool video, and I want to work on the new track, and I'm super excited about, just working on these Disney songs that I'm working on. So totally cool. But I need to do the job. And if there's a list of videos of companies that are waiting for the reviews, and I know I can write them an invoice, that comes first. So a lot of other stuff that I could be doing has to take a backseat to here's a paid gig. Because I have this great idea and it could be a good video. You know what? I don't want the job, thank you. I'll work on this video that's going to get 2,000 clicks. Isn't going to do it. Which is why people always think, I play guitar all day. I don't. Haven't touched a guitar all day yesterday. Haven't touched a guitar today. Probably won't. Maybe not even tomorrow. I actually set up a GoPro on time-lapse back there, which I'm going to have run for a few days. And I'm going to show people what that looks like. Because 95% of that time-lapse footage is going to be me at the desk with my feet up, editing, doing this, writing emails. Yeah. It is a desk job. It is not making music. But yeah, in terms of growing a channel, there is absolutely no answer because it's YouTube. They change their rules around. All of a sudden, smaller channels with longer form videos get pushed. All of a sudden, bigger channels with comedy formats get pushed. You have no idea. Now, Glenn was here and he just took a very expensive thousands course from one of the guys working with Mr. Beast. So Glenn's videos are now more TikTok-y. They're very busy. They've got lots of editing, lots of comedic things. Mr. Beast is very fast-paced. Glenn is playing the YouTube game. He's trying to do the YouTube thing that, a YouTube-style entertaining video. And he's nailing it. Would that work for my format? No, because my viewers want long-form reviews to buy shit. So I can throw in all the cartoons I want and try to do that in 8 minutes. It's not the video that my channel is known for. And he said, definitely never name a video based on the product. And he would be right for his channel, right? Because if it's like review of Soldano amp, that's boring. That's not clickbait. Who the crap's going to click on that? He's fully right. But I said, Glenn, there's one problem. The company's never going to find the video because if it's not in the title, it will not show up in searches.
Yeah.
Even worse, you can't find the video. If I didn't put the title of the product in the name of the product in the title, I go through my 3,500 videos that are now on YouTube, and I can't find it. There are some videos that on my channel I can't find anymore because I didn't have the product in the title. But here's the thing about YouTube. I said, Glenn, that's fully correct. And you would all agree with me if I say review of FFX, something has gain pedal, too much, definitely not a boost, whatever it's called. Should be called definitely not a boost.
Yeah.
That's a video that tanks. Especially if it doesn't have the most amazing thumbnail. So, you look at my video for the DSM Simplifier X. I forgot to change the title to clickbait. The video is called DSM Simplifier X Review, because that was the name of the file.
Yeah.
The thumbnail isn't great. It's pretty dark. It says, is analog still relevant or something?
Yeah.
That's also not the greatest title. That's got 30,000 clicks. One of my best going pedal reviews. Really took off for a 51-minute video. So viewers saw zero clickbait. They saw a boring thumbnail, and it's got 51 minutes in the corner. You never, who's going to click on that? 30,000, which is really high for a 50-minute video for an expensive pedal. No clickbait in the title. Explain this to me. It makes no sense. So whenever you try to say this is what you need to do, then you will get the clicks, it's utter bullshit. You will try different things. You will try, look on anyone's channel and look at all the thumbnails I've done throughout the years. I've just went through Tone King's 2000 something videos. And you see there were periods where he tried things with thumbnails and then he went back to other things. We try to chase the dragon. That's the algorithm. John from Sonic Drive Studios just asked me something in the interview I did with him on the weekend. And I was completely honest. He said, what made your channel grow? What's the best tip you can give someone trying to do this? And I'm going to be a very old, white, German, sexist asshole. Have a pretty girl in the videos is honestly what works. It's a fact. My channel would not be where it is if I hadn't done videos with my student Kiana, who is freaking funny. Frank, you know her, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kiana is funny. She was super pretty as a teenager. She's even more pretty now. She could respond to me throwing shit at her and throwing shit right back. There was a great back and forth. And a lot of those videos I did with her were teacher-student relationship. I was explaining things to her. I had heard review an amp and explained to her, this is what plexi means, this is what that means. Then, of course, we have the stupid comments, who's the cringy old man in the background, let the girl talk. Well, teacher-student relationship. I'm teaching her how to do this and what things mean. He's just mansplaining. Teacher-student relationship. Teaching is not mansplaining. That's literally why she came to me. So having her in the videos, two people in videos is always better because there's banter. And having a funny, intelligent, pretty girl absolutely drew in the perfs that watched those videos because they wanted to watch Kiana. But there was also Guitar Gear, so hey, what's not to love? And then there were, of course, the massive assholes that were like, oh, I really want to fuck her. What is wrong with people?
What? Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is that his girlfriend? Oh, he's doing her. And I mean, just these comments. Like, she was like 15 or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay? Fuck. Just the worst kind of insinuations. I never erase comments. Free speech. I leave comments that are hateful about me. I leave them. But that shit I erased. So now Kiana isn't there anymore. She has a job. She lives further away. And it put a damper on how far the channel grew. Also, there was the 150,000 subscriber plateau. Many channels, when they hit 150,000, all of a sudden it just like hits the brakes. You've kind of saturated the kind of people that are willing to tolerate you. And then it goes really slow. Trey Xavier had that problem. Colin Scott had that problem as well. 150, and then watch it crawl to 200,000. The only thing I can say is, if you want to grow your channel, find a guitar player, cool rock chick that's willing to sit next to you, who can hold her own. It'll work.
Yeah. And you said you're gonna sound like an old German sexist bastard there, but you're cutting into a topic that is for some reason it's not widely discussed because people are afraid they're gonna say something that's gonna turn people off or insult people or whatnot. But I'm just gonna put this out there because I had a conversation with a buddy of mine who is a very, very accomplished guitar player, and we had exactly the same topic. We were talking about this. So there's this new wave of female guitar players who are growing their Instagram channels and their TikTok channels and their YouTube channels by like with heavy numbers, and I'm all for that because it is way more entertaining to have more female players if they can bring something to the table. Because before you were just seeing the same kind of boring, stupid face guitar player in front of his camera, playing his ass off, and it was always the same shit. Now it's a little bit more diverse, but back then it was like, playing fast, 60 seconds of light speed, Ingrid Malmsteen, give 'em. And now it's more diverse because there are more female players out there. However, and it's very unpopular to say this, there are definitely some players out there, when you hear them in comparison, they've grown their channels not because of their playing talent.
You want me to get in trouble? I'll get in trouble for you.
No. I'm fine.
I will fall on that sword if you want me to.
Fine. No. I'm totally fine with that. It's the same. It's the same thing as whenever we're talking about equality. I say yes. I'm all about equality. Perfect. But if you wanna hire someone for a job, hire them for the right reason, because he's good. It's not
the problem with the social media when it comes to female guitar players, and it isn't a problem. It's okay. So my stance on it. Damn it. It's so damn cool that now this isn't just a male-dominated world anymore.
Yes.
And
yes.
They showing us that we need to freaking practice again, because holy crap, can some of them play? Most of them actually can play us against the wall, can play me against the wall, and I'm not a shit guitar player. A tone. Sophie, is it Sophie Giuliani? She's got freaking tone. Larry Basilio. There's some amazing guitar players.
Yeah.
And the ones those two, for example, tip my hats off to them. I think Sophie did her thing on Instagram, moved from Australia, got a kick-ass gig in a band, isn't doing the shred stuff, but is playing amazing stuff, technically, tonally, and she's not one of the ones, and that's what I'm getting to, who needs to dress in less clothing to get the clicks. She hasn't sold out in that way. So one of the things is, and I think that's where you're getting, they might have the great chops, and on one day, because it was particularly warm, they just had, less of a, thinner strap on the shoulder and had a tight skirt on. And then they realized, oh, wait a second, I got a shit ton more clicks on this video. And then they're gonna go and do that all the time. So in addition to their amazing ability, they're using their sexuality. And this is me being very jealous, because I cannot use this body to sell anything, okay? It's just not happening, okay? If I sat here in a bra, we would not get more clicks. So it is jealousy that the power of a beautiful woman can hold over men in one way. But here's me as a man saying, oh, she's just using her sexuality. She's dressing less. She's sitting very sexy to get the clicks. However, who am I to say that that's what's happening? She might just want to dress that way that day. We have no idea. The way that it looks is they're using the sexuality to get the clicks. And it's much easier for them to grow a channel on Instagram or TikTok really, really fast if they present themselves sexy, some makeup, whatever. However, who am I to say that that's not what they look like on a regular basis?
I think there is a distinction that we can make, and that distinction might be different for each and every one. But for me, when I see a video thumbnail and I see a breast above a guitar, I usually don't click because I know where it's going.
We know who you're talking about. We know exactly who you're talking about.
Whenever I see that, I don't watch the video because I feel uncomfortable. I don't feel uncomfortable because of what's gonna happen in that video, and of everything that I'm gonna see move while playing guitar. It's not that. It's I just don't feel well looking at it. I feel it's yeah.
So what we can sum up here that Frank doesn't like breasts.
No, that's
much
not
what
the
he's
case.
saying.
That's
No,
not the
He
case.
told me he loves them, just not hanging over a guitar.
Okay, so there's two ways to see this. There's one way to see it as, oh damn it, she's just doing that to get the clicks, and it's again using sexuality to. I mean, she could literally talk about model trains and have the breasts hanging over the model trains. It doesn't matter what it is. She's just using the sexual. I mean, look, she's just using her sexuality to get the clicks. However, we can. I mean, I can talk about that a little bit. When you have bigger boobs, where are you going to put them when you play guitar? It might not be deliberate. We know. The thing is, you do know as a viewer pretty much instantly whether it's deliberate or not. Now, there is a channel. We're not going to name people. Where the playing is really not that great. So it's not shit.
It's not only
okay?
one. It's not
Absolutely
only one. It's not only one channel. Let's be honest here.
Okay,
there is a good amount. There is a good amount of female players who absolutely slash, who absolutely rock. They have great tone. They have great technique. Some of them, because of their growing audience, they made it into bands, and I'm happy for them. More power to them, 100%. But there is a certain amount, and it's not a small amount, of channels where those are big channels, and I don't see these girls, these women, playing in big bands, and I know why. You know?
Oh no, absolutely. And the thing is, they're making. I in addition to that, I'm thinking of someone specific. They're also phoning in literally with the phone shitty content. It's bad room audio. It's everything recorded with your phone. It's the room there isn't a set. There isn't lighting. It's just like, and it's I sit on my bed the whole time every time I do that. That's deliberate. That's like I'm a hot girl sitting on a bed.
Because it
why
works.
Bed?
It works.
Here's the thing. Yes, it works. But here's the thing, and this is all. It's all fine. This is their right. It is a free world to do this content. It is absolutely their right, and it is a free world for any guy, girl, whoever to watch those videos and to like those videos. Mm-hmm. What bothers me is when we come to marketing, which is what a lot of social media is, because at some point, if you want to do this for a living and not just as your hobby, post, here's a solo that I played and put it on Instagram, you want to make some money with it. Whether it's Instagram ads or monetization through YouTube or being paid by brands. Now, when brands go and look at, oh, this video has millions of hits, it's horrible audio, it's badly produced, and there's a boob and she sits on her bed, we are going to pour money into that channel for marketing. That's where, if I say I have a problem with it, I don't. But where it gets a little bit cringy and weird to me, because that's a misunderstanding of the brand's marketing team to the marketing power in terms of sales that a channel like that holds. Because you have to go into the comments. And the comment sections is really where it's all revealed. When you go into a comment section of a girl that doesn't as much use her sexuality and has great chops, it'll be less about her looks and more about the playing, the guitar, the tone, great tone, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you have a, boob hanging over the model train girl. Then it'll be, I really like your dress. You look so pretty today. Oh, what did you do to your nails? It's all about her looks. And there are hundreds, I checked, there are hundreds of comments, and none of the comments are, oh, that's a cool PRS you're playing. Oh, cool Strat. What model is that? How did you get that tone? It was recorded with a phone in the room. Nobody gives a shit about the tone because it's a shit tone. It all becomes about her and, oh, can I take a private lesson from you?
Ugh.
You know, that kind of stuff. I mean,
instant cringe.
I mean, we're talking about I want to do you, can you be my girlfriend? Well, because for a guy that's into guitar, instead of having a girl show the new Gucci dress or whatever, it's, she plays guitar, she will understand me, she is relatable, I relate to her, she relates to me, she will probably want to go out with me. It's this delusion of the men.
Yeah, because everything else is super far away. The example with the brand dress or the brand handbag or whatever is too far away, because let's face it, most people on this planet are not in the vicinity of being able to buy a Gucci handbag or whatever it is. So it's super far away. But the girl that looks nice and plays guitar, hey, I'm playing guitar. It's exactly what you just said. It is way closer. So there's less of a barrier for you to approach her, even in I don't know, messages and comments.
But Frank, who are we getting mad at is the question. Because honestly, she makes super easy content just with your phone, uploaded, bam, 5 million clicks. I would love to have that job. Hundreds of thousands of clicks, subscribers, all that. I would love to have that job. Can we fault the women who do this for doing it? Or should we fault the people who are enabling them to phone in the content and do it with their sexuality more than with their skill? Because the people enabling them are us, are men. We enable them by clicking on it. We enable them by making these comments. The only thing that I find sad, and again, we cannot fault them because they are just taking the opportunity. What I find sad is them being role models for female guitar players and showing that how to get there is by flaunting their sexuality instead of practicing and actually having more of the skill, which there's enough of them, as you clearly pointed out, that do that. But the rotten eggs, which again, you cannot say, you are bad because that's what you do. If I had massive tits, trust me, that's exactly what I'd be doing, because it's an easy way to get the paycheck.
Just picturing that, it's terrible.
So, I mean, I thought about, to comment on this whole thing, several times I've thought about just sitting here in a bra and making a video. Everyone would get what I'm trying to say, but it also would completely cancel the channel overnight. It would. I have a friend who's also a YouTuber, who gets very, very pissed off about that, who calls it the Snoopy tits. Because it looks like Snoopy looking down. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's very, very horrible.
But to answer your...
He also called it basset ears, which is horrible.
Yeah.
Really horrible. But the thing is, it's not, I'm sorry, but it's not their fault. Yeah. And it's really our fault for clicking on it, for watching it. It's men who are the problem. It's not those girls running those channels, because they are being encouraged to not do higher quality video content or record themselves because it works. It's the men who are the issue.
Please.
If you don't mind, I have maybe a different take than you guys on this. So if you look at it from, from the marketing aspect, right? The companies are trying to find a way to market to musicians on YouTube. We YouTubers, we come in, we might have an idea what we think marketing is, but it's really hard. So we're all kind of guessing, shooting shit at the wall, hoping that something sticks. And when something sticks, then we use that as our formula to attract people to click in on our videos. Now, someone comes along and says, I have the easiest tool in the world, which is sex sells. We all know it. It's been around for fucking ages. Yeah. Okay, there's nothing new about this concept. Look at real clickbait, because we all use the clickbait word like, oh, you lured me into clicking onto something. But the real definition of clickbait is you got me to click on something, but you didn't deliver on the promise, right? That's the real definition of clickbait. So if you have like the 100 most incredible things that happened in 2020, and there's a big, plump, juicy butt right there. There's 30 million views on the fucking video. Yeah. And you watch the whole thing because you, my friend, are looking for that big, juicy, plump butt. and it's not in the fucking video. So now you're pissed, right? You click out, but this person got the clicks. What I'm getting at is, let's say you have someone who's well endowed playing a guitar, and you see the thumbnail, and there's nothing to the thumbnail except the individual with their instrument, and you click in, and that's exactly what you're getting. If we could get the behind the scenes of the metrics, you'd see it would plummet, and then it would die off really fucking quickly, because the people are not coming there for this person playing guitar. They're coming there for the well-endowed lady who is maybe purposely or not purposely showing you something that just got your primal needs all fired up, and you just clicked on that thumbnail, right? But that appeals not to just musicians, but to a whole slew of random people that have nothing to do with this industry.
Yeah.
So the appeal is much bigger. Now, if you put a guy like one of us on a thumbnail, what do we have to do to get those people to click? We have to make this face, right? We have to be stupid, comical, right? Yes, exactly. Why? Because that's the only thing we can do, right? We try to get people to click on our fucking videos by making a stupid face. So we're using the other S in marketing, which is shock. We have to shock people. We have to shock them with a really clever fucking, title for the video, and then the thumbnail. We have to make sure those two work together. Now, once they're in, we have to keep this shock value going. We have to make a hook at the very beginning of that video, because we want to keep that 30 seconds of that first part of the video. We want to retain at least 80% of the viewers if we want the algorithm to keep promoting our fucking videos. So we have to be way more calculated about what we're going to get, but all this work cannot compete with the other S, which is sex.
Yeah.
Sex is appealing to everybody. What we do is, okay, here's a pedal. All right. Another fucking pedal. It's a tube screamer. Fuck, they bail the fuck out of your video, because why? They're done with the tube screamer. They've seen so many of them. But you're like, wait a minute. This tube screamer is different. Why? Well, it has bass and treble controls. Oh, for fuck's sakes. And they bail out. They don't care.
I sold more Moxies for Wampler by making a video about not buying the Moxie than any other video, because the whole video was saying, don't buy a tube screamer. That was the thumbnail. I think they said you don't need this pedal. It was marketing by not marketing. Talking about thumbnails, and we'll get back to the ladies. Can I share a screen here? Does it work?
I don't think so.
It says share screen.
Okay, then you probably can.
Because I'll show you the thumbnail for today's video. Talk about, Can you see this?
Right now I can't.
Not yet.
I can't see any. I just see the same images.
It says Henning's screen.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, here. Window. Wait. I need to somehow bring that window up. No, wait. I'm working on it.
Sometimes the computer asks you to give rights or something. Being able to screen share.
Here we go. Yeah, and now I have this window open. Here. And here it is. Now you should be able to see that, right?
It says Henning's browser needs screen sharing permission. Browser lacks system permission to share screen. What should I do? Open your computer.
How about this? I send this to you, Frank.
Yeah.
And you share it.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
That's the much easier way to do it.
Okay.
Talk about, some shock value for thumbnails.
Is it you in a bra?
Oh, it's much worse than that.
It's much worse than that. What can be worse than... Okay, hold on.
Well, I would probably think Henning in a thong would be pretty bad.
Okay, let's share.
Talking about juicy, plump booties.
Hey, I have a good ass.
Dirty comp?
Well, make that big, he said to her.
Yeah, I'm trying, but it for some reason it doesn't. It opens in a different window. That's the issue.
Yep. Double click on that. Come on.
I do. It doesn't. No chance. Doesn't get bigger.
What the?
So that's you.
Can
That's
you
you.
download it?
That's you in a melon mask.
It's a face mask.
Face mask. Watermelon.
And it looks like I've been slaughtered by someone. It's absolutely a most horrible picture.
Yeah. I'll see if I can. Yeah.
So yeah, and I thought, why not put that in the thumbnail? Let's see what happens. So one last thing on the ladies.
Yes.
This is all fine. We can't fault them for it. I think we should fault the viewers who click on it. On the other hand, I'm saying that, and I don't go on Instagram and click on all the hot ladies. I would never stop. But we all fall for these things. We all fall for clickbait.
Yeah.
It's not nobody's above it. But who I do fault, and again, I don't want these girls to make less money, but I do fault brands that think that's a way to market. Because I find that naive. And I find that pushing your sexuality before anything else, and that's setting the wrong precedents for women playing guitar, saying you can get supported by brands and you can get endorsement deals because you show your sexuality. And also, it doesn't do anything for sales. Let's compare their affiliate marketing with how much they can make in sales for a particular product that they showed on their channels versus mine. I will, with millions of clicks on each reel they do, I will still be way above sales compared to them, because not a single thing mentions the product in the comments. People do not come for their playing, and men do not come for their playing, and men do not come for the product.
No.
It's just come.
Well, maybe. I'm gonna be mean, but for those guys, click on those videos.
Yeah.
Because there's a sexy girl playing guitar. I always wonder, do these guys about internet pornography? Because there's actual naked women doing sexual acts on the internet that you can look at. I don't know. But why would I go on Instagram and look at a half-dressed girl playing guitar if I can look at a completely naked girl not playing guitar? I don't understand that if it's about the sex aspect. I don't understand the motivation.
But
that's just me.
Here's another aspect of it. The question is, there's marketing, but there are two directions where marketing can go. One is that the one that you just mentioned is to convert views and clicks into sales. So essentially, you're doing a video, you are working with an affiliate partner like Thomann or maybe Sweetwater in the US, and then people see the video and they click on the affiliate link, and then when they make a purchase, you get a percentage of that. And you can also track, and the brands in communication with their dealers can kind of track, okay, Henning did a video, it converted into 100 sales of that product, amazing. We're going to do the next video with him. And that's essentially how you keep afloat in a certain way. But the other direction where marketing can go is brand awareness. And I think that's why they're using certain channels with good-looking girls who might not have the best equipment or knowledge about how to actually make a video, and they're not the best players in many cases, not in all cases, but in many cases they're not the best players. But it doesn't matter, because for brand awareness it definitely does something. Because if you place a pedal, I'm just talking about awareness. I'm just talking about awareness.
I don't even know if. Are you looking at the pedal or something else? Because I mean, I'm pretty sure that if you ask what gear does she use, that most guys wouldn't even know. They haven't heard it really, because they haven't heard it well. And they pay attention to it? I don't. Also, return of investment. Yes, brand awareness with Instagram. Instagram can never be a full review or whatever. That's all there.
Yeah.
But you have to look at what you're investing. And when you have a channel or an Instagram channel where you have 900,000 followers or whatever, then you're going to pay a premium to be on there. Like, do you know what they're asking for content on these channels? You can buy, I'm an expensive channel, but on average, for what one of those videos costs, full YouTube reviews, you can probably buy 5 to 10 of them. So one Instagram thing where it might be seen maybe by some guys actually tuning in for the sexual part, or full reviews about the actual gear on 5 to 10 channels for the same amount of money. It's, I think the cost in those cases doesn't, because it's big channels, they don't justify the non-trackable benefit, because you don't know you have no idea if it did anything or not.
But one thing is the cost, and by the way, before we go into this section, I just want to mention that what I always thought was very interesting about your approach is that you always try to keep pushing certain boundaries, whether if it's like video quality, all these things. Every time we spoke, you were like, "Oh, I just bought this new camera or a set of cameras. Oh, I just bought these new lights."
Because you got to buy cameras.
Yeah, 100%. And
it's the law.
Always,
it says German law number 1. You got to buy cameras.
you always kind of immediately reinvested the money you made with YouTube into like upping your game as far as equipment goes, so that you have a better workflow, and that's all great. However, one thing we need to keep in mind is that the consumption of videos, same as the consumption of music, has changed considerably, especially in the past 5 to 10 years, where now all kudos to you for making a video that's super in detail, has the best image quality, has the best lighting, and the best presentation of a product. But if the final consumer is going to have a vertical image on his phone and is watching a video like this, and their attention span is 1.5 minutes, which fits exactly what a fucking reel on Instagram is able to be. If that's the consumer, where's all the effort going?
I don't make those videos.
I know, 100%. But that's the thing. At some point, if everybody consumes it this way, obviously the companies are going to think, shit, we need to get into that sort of audience, or we need to get into the habits of the new habit of watching things in that format of the people, and then they're going to look for people who are already just doing that, just doing the vertical thing, 1.5 minutes of, playing something, shortcuts, and then
I'm not against that content. All that content gives you is brand awareness. You can't review something in 1.5 minutes. You can't give the features.
No, I know.
It's brand awareness. Instagram is good for that. That's not my jam. And you will also see higher quality content on Instagram and content that's directly done with the phone. There's a difference. People can discern the difference. Martin Frieders, I think, is a German guy who does some nice stuff. SI Guitar. They put in work for their Instagram reels. What that gives you is awareness. I need that awareness so people look for a review.
Yeah.
But the brand can't only have brand awareness on Instagram and TikTok. They also then, when people are aware of the product, need what I do. We do go hand in hand.
But do you think there is a chance that this new format, it's not new, but this like widely spread format of people consuming their stuff on TikTok in short videos, do you think there's a chance that the companies are starting to see a trend where this actually converts to sales, or do you think that doesn't happen at all?
I guarantee you, if you tell people, first of all, Instagram is anti-sales and anti-move away from Instagram. Where can you put a link on Instagram? If your channel's big enough, as far as I understand, in a story, not in a reel, and then link in bio, so you can have one link in the bio.
No, you can have a what's it called, a link tree in the bio, and then you click on that, and then a window opens, and then you can set, I don't know, 100 links if you wanted to. But obviously, if there's something, if you want,
but of course you're not, because you're only going to have whatever the newest thing is. Because if I have 1,000 reels to different products, my link tree won't be 1,000 things long. It is not conducive to doing affiliate type marketing. And Instagram doesn't want you to navigate away from Instagram. And my opinion, and I might be wrong about this, but the way I'm using Instagram, I don't want to navigate away from Instagram. I hate Instagram, but I got to go through the feed a little bit. I follow very, very few people, so I don't see everyone's shit. So for me, there are maybe 2 times during the day, right? I'm still in bed. I go through certain things, check things. Okay, that was my Instagram time. And then maybe later in the day, but I have an allotted Instagram time and allotted Facebook feed time. I look at my YouTube comments. There's a time for that. And during that time, I got to do the chore of checking what's happening on Instagram. That's my time for Instagram. I'm not going to click to watch someone's YouTube video, because that brings me into my YouTube time. You know what I mean? Like, I need to go through my feed, and when I'm done, check mark, okay, Instagram's done for now.
Okay.
So I do not want to navigate away from it. I do not want to go check out a shop, because that brings me away from I need to go through this stupid, because it's a business type thing for me, Instagram. So I'm thinking maybe some other people might behave the same way. Now I'm on Instagram, now I'm going to stay on Instagram. So I think for sales, also, what information do you get in? Okay, this guy's playing this thing. Okay, I heard it for a minute. Nice shots. Sounded okay. Are you going to buy it because you heard it for a minute? The next thing is going to be going.
That was my question. But that was my question. Yeah, but that was my question. Do you think there is a chance that people with the short attention span they have are like watching a 1.5 minute video on Instagram, and they're like, you know what? I'm just gonna order it. I can always send it back. There's so many stores who have 30-day money back guarantee. So
yeah. If it's a 99 euro pedal, maybe. If it's a Friedman IRD, $5.99, I want to know more things. I want to hear the other IRs. I want to hear, I want to see, I want to have information how it fits into my rig. I highly doubt that, let's take cameras, for example. Also more complex gear. So I see a video for a new camera. Some guy unboxes it. I see some clips and they look really, really cool. Then that starts my journey down the rabbit hole of finding out if this is the right piece of gear for me. So the next thing would be maybe information on a shop's website, which is never going to be super in depth. But I have some stats. Maybe whatever they have on the actual website from the company. Yeah, that gets me some promotional stuff. It's not going to tell me what sucks, or that the battery life is short. Okay, or that it's too heavy. And then the last thing is going to be, I want a real, and now I'm interested. I'm really hooked. This is so damn cool. Now I want a review. For example, DJI Ronin 4K. So one of those cameras that has a built-in gimbal. It's like $7,000. I want that thing badly. It's an amazing piece of gear. It's got some issues with because I don't have it. It'll make me a better.
Oh God,
Frank, it's gonna make me a better person. I will get into heaven if I have that. Okay, that's just how it is. Don't question my methods. Okay.
Yeah.
Jesus will come once I have that camera. So I look at it, but then I have to think about how do I incorporate it into my system. Everything I do is 4K, and I want an SDI out, not an HDMI out, an SDI out, which is like a little BNC cable, with a 4K output, so I can incorporate it into my workflow. Finding that information is almost impossible. On the DJI website, they don't tell you, first of all, if it even has an SDI out or where it is. Then I find out you have to buy this video attachment to it. Okay, it has SDI. Well, what's the resolution on it? No information. There is actually almost no information or pictures on the internet about that output and what resolution it has. I did eventually, after lots of research, find out it only outputs HD, which makes this camera not usable for me. So I didn't buy it. Therefore, no entrance into the golden gates of heaven for me.
Oh, sorry.
But that's how it is. I might still buy it before I die just for that, you know? Some people find Jesus in the very last second. But I need an actual, I need an actual review because DJI wasn't telling me that. The little clip and reel wouldn't tell me that. Companies need what we do for the people that are willing to buy it. I could have possibly bought it. What's the return policy? But what a pain in the ass. You drop 7K, you get the thing, you unbox it, you learn everything, and oh, fuck, back in the box, ship it back, give me my money back. No. You need reviews. Companies will need the long-form YouTube reviews. I highly doubt that an Instagram reel in the guitar world is going to lead to direct sales. And I'd like to get data on that, but I doubt it.
Okay.
I doubt that works.
Good.
I have something I want to contribute to that. One thing I noticed with consumers is that if we're using the platform, let's say like Instagram, you have to know the demographic that goes on there and what they tend to look at. So there are niches within Instagram. There are niches within just about every social media platform. What Henning is saying and what I'm hearing is that he's saying my demographic, the people that come to my particular channel, they want to be informed. And they're probably not just going to watch my channel, but they're going to watch other channels too, because they want to know where to put their money. Is this worth $3,000? Is this even worth $29.99 from Thomann? Should I put my money on this? Because I don't want to waste my time. I'm not impulsive. There's a part of me that is, but I want to be educated on this. I want to know it inside out, and then I'll make a purchasing decision. Frank, what you're talking about is another group of people where they impulsively buy things. They see a master shredder just like going at it, and they go, wow, I want this pedal because that little sample there sounded awesome. That's without knowing what the amp is, without knowing anything about the rig, if it's been manipulated in post-production, anything. They don't know anything about it. So we're talking about two different consumers. One of them is more impulsive. The other one is way more educated and is afraid to be impulsive. And I think that's why there is a market for both of these things. We're always going to have the people that are looking out for their wallets and don't want to get fucked over. And you got the people that are like, ooh, this is trendy, I want to jump on it. Both of them are fine as long as the person is fine with that way of life. But I think there's still a demand for people going really deep into a product, showing the ins and outs, because not everybody's got like, disposable income. They can throw thousands of dollars out the window and go, oh, that was a piece of shit. That was a really funny story. Like, I saw a video and I bought this thing for $4,000 and then the company went under 2 months later. Oh, fuck it. I got money. I don't know anyone like that. And if you knew people like that and you knew how to get them on you, man, you could just like fucking sell them anything. But the thing is, it's really hard to sell people when they want to be careful with their money.
I actually think the interesting thing is, if I look at myself, what you're saying is completely right, but I think both people exist in the same person. It depends on what they're buying. Mm-hmm. Like, I will research a camera. I mean, I can't talk about guitar gear because that's literally what I do. I have no idea if I would research that or not. I probably, for a guitar, would walk into the shop and play it. I don't know if I would want to watch a video about it. For camera gear, because it's stats, it's ins and outs, it's all these things, I probably want to watch someone talk about it, or a light. So general video production gear, I will watch a review. Cars, impulse buy. If it's a car, I will not watch a review. I will not want to watch a review. I will buy it because I like that. That's the car I always wanted. A review might actually turn me off. It might tell me the things that make me feel bad about the car that I always wanted. I bought a Tesla Model Y. Most expensive thing I ever freaking bought. It has there's many reviews that will talk about certain aspects of it that are negative. And I'm experiencing those now myself because I didn't look at reviews. But I wanted a Tesla. The research I did was I went to Tesla, test drove it. And I'm like, I like that. I don't know about durability. I don't know about any of these things or what works. I mean, the auto windshield wiper thing goes off when it's not raining, and then it's raining like crazy, and they stay there. It's not happening. There are minor things that I could have found out before buying it, but then I would have felt like, yeah, but it's not really that. It's got these issues. So for me, I wanted that car, test drove it, bought it, refused to learn more about it. So interesting that when spending that much money, I was not interested in knowing more. I buy a drone for $800. I will watch 7 videos. And then make a decision, is that the right drone for me? Or with the camera, you know? So I'm thinking we all probably have certain things. Lawnmower. I'm hearing it outside. Robo lawnmower. I needed to know certain things because I had bought 3 lawnmowers for the different gardens we have here. The ones, with the cable in the ground. And they're all not running anymore because the dogs dig up the cable. If the cable breaks somewhere in your garden, you have no idea where. And the damn thing is dead until you fix the cable. But where on the 300 meters of cable is it broken? You have no idea. So they suck. They're all now sitting in the basement, not running. So I wanted to buy one that worked with GPS. And that's a new technology. And there's only 6 or 7 on the market. And some of them from China without any tech support, and Gardena doesn't make them yet, blah, blah, blah. So I looked at these reviews, and I was an early adopter. I took a chance, and I learned about them. And I found out there's only one on the market where once you taught it your garden, you can actually alter the map retroactively and just say, oh, by the way, there's a tree here now, please don't mow over that. Everyone else, you have to completely start over and erase everything and work another hour to teach it the new thing. So once you find out about that, you're not looking at the others anymore. Once you're like, wait a second, no, I need to be able to alter it whenever I want. So altering that map for me was important. It took several hours of research to find out which one was right. I bought 2 of them. They're freaking amazing, happy about it. But I did my research there. €1,500 lawnmower, I did hours of research, €60,000 car. I like the color, I'm good.
Interesting.
You're bringing up what you're bringing up, I think, is very important because one is a purchase where it's more practical. So you have no emotional investment into it. It's a lawnmower. You don't care about the color. You just want it to do something. Where the Tesla is more of an emotional purchase because what you want is that car. You don't care. You don't want anyone to sway you away from it. It's kind of like when you're going on vacation, right? You're putting a lot of money towards a dream destination. If someone says, yeah, but the crime has gone through the roof, if you go there, you find heads floating on the side of the ocean. Then you're like, fuck you, don't tell me about that. I want to go. You know how long I've waited to go to, whatever place there in the south or whatever. And people are telling you, don't go there. It's dangerous. The crime is through the roof. And I think that might be the key I was missing in this conversation is that we wear different hats when it comes to consumerism. So sometimes we overthink a purchase because we just want to make sure we put our money in the right place because we're not invested emotionally. We're just invested financially. Where the other one, you're like, fuck it. I don't care how much it costs. I want that. And I'm going to do what it takes to get it. And if someone tries to do an honest review and say, look, this car here has got massive issue. The battery catches on fire about like 60% of the time. There's a lot of recalls on this vehicle. And you're like, I don't care. It's the only barrier of entry I have for this dream car, so I'm going to fucking buy it. That might be where we have this tension between the viewers calling us paid shills because You know, think about just in the guitar realm, you have a pedal like the original Klon or the King of Tone. No one seems to question the price point on these. They're just like, that's fucking ridiculous, but it's a good investment.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What? That's not an investment. What the fuck are you talking about?
Emotional versus practical. Practical needs to fit a certain use, and so you research it. I guarantee you, now that you say this, that when you look at the ultra-rich buying Ferraris, Lamborghinis, whatever, which they always wanted to have when they finally made the money, none of them goes on YouTube and watches a Lamborghini Huracan review.
No.
That car very likely has a lot of downsides and negative points, but I guarantee you, those reviews might exist, but why? Because I don't think anyone's interested in it's a dream thing. Now, guitars, let's go there. Signature models. You get crucified when you critique signature models. Now,
Really?
try to, and well, I mean, not but I mean, try to. I did a Dean Dime Slime because a student had one guitar. Now, on a practical level, that's an asininely stupid guitar because it's huge in all directions. It's got the big, massive headstock, which is way too big and stupid, and the case is so huge that it's just not really movable. And that guitar you will immediately bang up on all the points because it is so big. In any practice room where you turn around, bam. And you look at these guitars when someone has them, all the paint is off on the corners, of course. But someone who wants that guitar, watching that review, which I have made, doesn't want to hear any of that. They want to hear, you like Dime, buy that guitar, it's great. Because they don't want to hear that their hero has a substandard guitar that has some practical issues. Of course, with signature guitars, there are priorities that the artist has, that they want. There are tastes that the artist has that I can't really critique. And a critique from me about a certain thing on the guitar that they like is my critique, but it isn't really a fair one because they're an individual that wanted that. That's totally fine. Which is also, by the way, why Ibanez does not commission reviews of signature guitars. Because then it has happened in the past that an artist watched one of those reviews and said, wait a second, they're bitching about that. Why did you guys do that? You know, why didn't we make that better? Yeah. So then the artist got mad at Ibanez for something that was critiqued that he didn't think of. And so Ibanez stays the fuck away from commissioning reviews for signature guitars. So any signature guitar from Ibanez that you see anywhere is someone had it, and I just reviewed the Jiva something high-end 3,500. Because Andrew, who's sitting in the next room from Australia, bought it and had it shipped here to pick it up. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to review that. But that wasn't commissioned by Ibanez. And but again, anything I say about this is just my opinion. If Nita Strauss wants it that way, she gets it that way. So is that a fair criticism? Well, I look at it as a guitar, not as a signature guitar. So as a tool, as an instrument, that's what I'm judging. Not as I'm Nita Strauss, because I'm not. But signature guitars, I think, are that thing. People are very much emotionally attached. They want that Satriani guitar. They want that gem, that Steve Vai thing. They want that Slash Les Paul. And they do not want to be told that, dude, it doesn't get you the sound, because Slash's Les Pauls were not even made by Gibson. They were made by a private luthier somewhere else in license. You can't buy a Gibson that sounds like Slash's Les Pauls because he doesn't play Gibsons. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear, you'll finally have the guitar of your dreams. It's beautiful. I do get a lot of comments from people wanting confirmation that they made the right choice. And those are the comments where they get pissed off about any critique in the video. I have bought this. It just arrived, so they want to kind of get maybe a manual on it. And then they watch my video and then they realize, oh, wait a second, he's criticizing things. But I just spent my money. So he's criticizing my decision. So they write a comment of, you don't even know, it's the greatest thing ever. I sometimes get comments, oh, that's a good point. But you know what? For me, actually, that isn't relevant because that's not how I use it, which is totally fine. And someone should never do that. Someone who just ordered it, paid for it, and it's on the way, and then they watch my video. Why would you do that? You've already made the decision. Why would you then be told by someone what's not great about it? It's like, remember Brexit, that bullshit? All the Brits said, oh, we don't want to be in Europe anymore. Europe bad, European Union, horrible thing. The most Googled thing the next day, once Brexit was decided on, was, what is the EU? So that's, honestly, that is
you go.
in Britain, the most Googled thing on the next day was, what does the EU actually do? You inform yourself before you make the decision. You don't order the 3,000 euro amp. Then you watch a video of someone going through all the ins and outs and telling you whether or not it's for you. Why wouldn't you do this before you order?
Ideally.
But I have those viewers, and they might get pissed off. Look, everyone does their own thing, and sometimes we get comments from people like that, but it's not my fault, obviously.
I wanted to pick up on another trend that is currently going on, and that you are to some extent part of as well. So
I'm not part of anything. I wasn't there. I was with my mom.
yeah, gotcha.
We need proof of that.
We need proof of that. So
Shit.
so since a couple of weeks or so, you are sitting. Well, that's the video that comes out on the weekend. You're sitting on your balcony and you're calling it rant. You're complaining about certain things that involve the industry in general, but also how marketing and how YouTube works in this industry. And it's something that I see other people do as well. So I see other YouTubers talking about things like marketing schemes, for example, or talking about honesty or dishonesty when it comes to gear reviews. Why do you think that is? Why do you think so many people that are, most of them established YouTubers, why do you think so many people have or feel the need to get in front of the camera and to address these things?
Several reasons. A, we've been talking about it behind closed doors to each other for a long time. It's always been an issue on being called a paid shill and just being kind of pissed off about these accusations. And then people have no idea what's actually going on and how much some of us, not all of us, but some of us work and how much money we don't make because of the ethical choices we make. And then being called these things is pretty frustrating. So we've been talking about that, and we share comments from viewers and maybe chuckle about them, but actually then just talk about, the industry like this. And some of us have talked for a long time about we should be making a video about this. This is not something we decided spontaneously. This is something that's years in the making. The fact that some of them are coming out now is probably because someone made, I don't know who, made a video about it. And that kind of opened the floodgates of, well, now that we're talking about it, now let me chime in with my point of view, because we always have a slightly different workload, ethic, payment scheme, whatever. And it's only fair that people say their side of the story, because let's say if Ola Englund, who I have no idea, I don't follow him, but let's say Ola talks about it, if people then think, oh, that's how it is, well, that's not an accurate representation of the industry, because Ola has his way of doing things. Okay? Ola markets his guitars through his videos, which he makes a lot of money with. Therefore, because any video he makes for some amp is actually a marketing video for his guitar, which he makes money with, so he doesn't take money for that amp video, blah, blah, blah. So if people thought, oh, I don't think he did, but let's say Ola spoke out on it, and then people said, oh, this is how YouTubers work, well, then obviously others have to speak out about it, because to set the record straight for their channel. So if someone talks about it, and let's say another YouTuber watches my video and agrees with 80% of it, then it's probably right for them to make a video just to say, this is how I do things. Because people might think that what Henning said is how their channel is run, which it probably isn't. In certain respects, everyone has their own way of how far they are willing to stretch their ethics and morals and what they take money for, what they don't take money for, and how they... So once someone released a video, some of us looked at it and say, yeah, but that's not really how I want to be seen. And if people think that that's what YouTube stands for, well, no, that's how it is for them. So here's how I do things.
So you didn't feel represented with some of the videos that were out there. So you decided to, okay, I'm gonna
represented to a degree for sure. But then it's only fair to say this is how I do things. And Fluff made a video saying he doesn't agree with the product launch campaigns. I do. So I said, I think these campaigns are great. I campaign for these campaigns. They literally don't hurt anyone. They're a great idea. Anyone not doing them is missing out and not pushing their product in the way that it should be pushed. They are stronger than any other form of campaign. We've seen this in companies that are not doing them now are still saying, yeah, when we used to do them, we did sell more. Then why did you stop, you idiots? Because of the few strong voices that are saying, oh, I'm kind of pissed off that there's no other video nowadays. I have companies telling me straight out, when we did a big launch campaign, we sold more, but we don't want to do them anymore because people don't like them. What people? Screw those people. No. I'm sorry. But if you sold more, then do the launch campaigns. Look, the channels are making money. We're not too responsible for not getting a lot of clicks because it's clear if we all launch the video on the same day, we don't get that many clicks. It's jobs for us. It is amazing for the consumer. I'm sorry, but fuck those consumers that bitch about them. It is amazing for the consumer because on one day, you can get your favorite channel with your favorite playing style, demo the product for you. Oda will show the Tone X1 chuggy. Pete Thorne will show it fusiony and rocky. I will show it in a different way with no playing ability. Someone else will show it ambient style. Someone will bitch about things, someone will not. Someone will show you the editor, someone will not. You have the perfect pick from what kind of marketing you want to consume. More honest, less honest, quicker, long form, metal, blues, jazz. In the good old days, it was an ad in a magazine, curated by the brand, completely marketing, nothing else, no negative, no sounds. It was the same ad in every magazine. Nobody bitched about that. Why do people get an hour case for making a living and presenting it honestly? We live in the golden age of honest marketing. If you find the channels, I'm not saying everyone, but if you find the channels that you can trust, and you've bought the gear that they pushed, and it's gear that came out the way that they portrayed it, why not have a marketing push where as many channels as possible present the same product on the same day? Why would you be mad at the marketing department? They're doing their job.
Yeah, I think.
Why would you be mad at us? We're taking the job.
I think there are a few sort of dilemmas here. First of all, it's you will have that like little portion of people who are going to bitch about everything. And yesterday they've bitched about something that's completely unrelated, and then tomorrow everybody comes out with their videos, and then they're going to bitch about that. So there's this small portion of people who just don't like how certain things are run. You're not going to change that. I think one of the dilemmas is that people, and I don't get that feeling, but a lot of people might get the feeling that when a lot of people release the video about the same kind of product at the same time, they feel, I'm not saying that's the case, they feel that there's less honesty involved in the whole thing. Because I know.
Yeah.
Because they don't, and we make that distinction here on the podcast a lot of times, where we clearly separate between a review and a demo, because those are two different things.
Absolutely, 100%. I don't demo ever.
you always review. Exactly. And then knowing that people are getting paid to do these videos, there's another dilemma opening up where there's like, well, if this guy gets paid to do a video and he's not saying anything negative about it, and then I see another guy who's actually saying something or criticizing something, then apparently this guy is not honest because he wants the company to send him stuff and getting paid for doing the videos. So there's this other dilemma coming in, and then in the total, it becomes kind of like, can I really trust all these people?
No, you cannot trust all these people.
No.
Of course you can't trust all these people. You have, look, whether someone's paid or not has no bearing on their honesty. The only thing that has a bearing on the honesty...
I wouldn't generalize that. I definitely
listen to
know
me.
channels.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
Listen to me. It has no bearing on their honesty. What if they're honest or not has something to do with who they are as a person. They can buy it and then they immediately buy it because they spent money on it. They can buy it and then love it because it has the Marshall logo on it. It could be a big piece of crap, but Marshall used to be good, so it's got to be good. They could like the artist. They can be paid and wanting to be dishonest to not piss off the company so they get more paychecks. But the thing is, they can also be paid and be completely honest. It depends on the person. You can't generalize that someone that gets paid is dishonest. Someone that gets paid can be dishonest. Someone that gets paid can also be completely honest. There's absolutely no generalizing one way or the other. The only thing that matters is get to know the channel, watch some content and see if they're honest or not, and then make a decision based on that. But the paid or not, buys it or not, is not an indicator about honesty in any way.
For many people, it is. That's the problem. For many people,
that's the people's problem.
Yeah,
and you know what? Anyone who thinks that tells you something about them more than me. If I think that someone is paid and therefore they're not honest, that means I can't possibly imagine getting paid for something and then still having enough ethics and morals to still inform the viewer responsibly. That means that possibly they themselves wouldn't. That doesn't mean I wouldn't. When you say, I can't imagine someone would be honest if they're getting paid, that means I wouldn't be honest if I get paid. That's what they're saying with that. That's not my problem. That's their problem.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not saying
it's that simple.
No. Yeah, I'm not saying it's your problem.
And about your thing when you say when all these videos come out at the same time, we can see this comment. Oh, they all got it from the company and they got paid to do it. I'm sorry, that just means, I'm sorry viewers, but that means you're fucking naive. Because whether or not all the videos come out on the same day, or they're spread out over 2 months, we still got paid. We still work with the company. The release date of the videos has no bearing on how the deals are. So if the company comes to us and books 40 videos on 40 channels, and we do it on the same day, yeah, we all work with the company. Yeah, we all got it ahead of time. Yeah, we have some kind of agreement, gear and trade or money for the video, or both. If the video comes out 6 weeks after release, we still got the product ahead of time, we still made the video, we still have gear and trade, or there's no difference. The IRD from Friedman was a phased out release. I got paid exactly the same as if I had released it on day one. When people think, oh, they all got it from the company, yeah, we always get it from the company.
Yeah, that was my point. That was my point. My point was what people might be perceiving when they see that on the 31st of August, a company launches on 10, 15 different channels. Well, they might even know that it is a paid marketing campaign. Otherwise, how are you going to pull that off? Especially with channels that have a certain reach.
But they think it's a paid marketing campaign when it all happens on the channels at the same time. When it's phased out, then they think it's not a marketing campaign. That is, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but that's ultra naive. That's thinking puppy unicorns made out of cotton candy exist. It's just a complete naive way to see
They
the
probably do.
industry.
I know.
When it all happens on the same day, it's a paid marketing campaign. When the videos are stretched out over 6 weeks, we bought it. And no, it makes.
Yeah.
And my rants are simply to inform people about how things are done. Yes, we make marketing videos. Yes, we get paid for it. Yes, we get the gear and trade. But that doesn't mean that it's dishonest. It can mean that, and there are channels where it means that. It's the viewer's responsibility to just put in a little bit of research to find out. When someone writes on a video, it said sponsored, so I clicked off it because it can't possibly be honest. That means they don't know my videos. I've got 3,500. How about you watch 3 or 4 while you're making toast? And if I say absolutely nothing critical in 4 videos, I mean, that's probably not going to happen. There are videos like the Tone X1 where I don't have a critique. And it might look like it's all paid opinion. But the thing is brilliant. Period. And I'm getting paid full money for this. Or got paid full money for this. And I massively bitched about no Bluetooth audio, no Bluetooth power, where's the headphone out, where's MIDI. That absolutely sucks, and they can do nothing about that I say that. It's the best model on the market, it's absolutely amazing, but it absolutely has shortcomings. And I say that. If you watch that video and you think I got paid to say those things, why would you pay me to say it sucks that it has no MIDI?
Yeah,
where's
you
the
also-
headphone out? What's wrong with you people?
You also know that I wasn't talking specifically about your channel. I was talking about the landscape of channels. So your defense in all honor, and I know that you have never held back when it comes to criticizing certain aspects of a product. But obviously, people might get an impression if they look at the landscape and they look at like there is a handful of guys that doesn't say anything negative at all, and there's another handful of guys that say, well, there are some things that could be better. Then they kind of
I get it,
smell.
but don't judge that. Don't judge that video. Go and learn about the channel, watch a few more videos, and get a feel for the guy or the girl. And then you either make that a channel you trust, or you make that a channel you don't trust. You could make it a channel you don't trust, but you could make it a channel that gets some good sounds. And that's your information you pull from that channel. So you watch that channel because he plays your style, maybe has the same guitar you play. So that's information you can pull from it, but whatever he says, screw it, doesn't matter. Then you come to me or someone else where you know, okay, I might not like his playing style or fashion sense. Okay? But I really like what he's got to say, and we know he's always honest. Then you skip to my 2 cents, and you get the negatives and the positives. Drag from the channel what you learn the channel is good for you. But you cannot equivocally say, they get paid, therefore it's dishonest. It might absolutely mean that, but it doesn't have to absolutely mean that. Getting paid or not, getting the gear or not, or buying, even if you buy it yourself, there's a bias because you spent the money on it. There's absolutely no way of saying it either way. I need a short break because I got a call from the delivery people.
Sure thing.
Give me a sec. That means they're probably half an hour away. I just need to confirm.
Yeah, no worries.
Having that ear is weird because it's usually that ear.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
What?
For no reason.
Okay, they're of course not picking up.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
No worries.
Give me 1 sec.
No worries.
I'll take a minute too because I have the guy from Invaders Amp that's fixing my Rivera.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, because it crapped out on me the other day. I was playing through it. I was like, man, it sounds magical. What the fuck? You know, it sounds so good. Then all of a sudden, poof!
Went
Like-
up in smoke.
Okay. Well, not in smoke, but it started to do this weird humming, and then it would be, and everything got distorted. And when I went to put it in standby, there was a spark.
Shit.
So I was like, oh, that's not good. So I brought it to him, and I'm trying to get him to convert it from 240 to 110. So I'm just going to go call him quick.
Yeah, no worries.
And I'll be back.
Yeah. We'll be back in a few. One is back. Yeah, Jonathan had to bail out as well. They're currently setting up one of his amps for 110 volts, so he can use it in Canada as well without a stupid transformer, an external one. So
that's always fun.
yeah, it's super fun, 100%.
Should we wait for him?
We can also go on. He'll be back. He'll be back in a second. So yeah,
As for the rants, what I wanted to say,
Yes.
it's not things necessarily that I'm angry about. And when you write rant, it just gets you clicks. But
that's what I thought.
it's for me, it's just letting people peek behind the curtain. Because when I get a product and I send it back, and I say I can't do a video for it, nobody sees it. And then of course people only see the more positive stuff. And I wanted people to know that they are literally super high-end guitars from mega boutique luthiers that I didn't take as payment because I didn't want to present them on the channel because they were not good enough for me to recommend them to viewers. And other things that I never reviewed. I mean, hey, I'll name and shame. A Boss GT1000 modeler. I had it on the table, monochrome interface, and what is the one thing you try to do on a modeler? Change the amp, right? That's the most simple thing. It took me 28 minutes to find out how to do that.
Okay.
And then I decided, I'm like, without a manual, 28 minutes to find out how to change the amp model. I'm like, this is the worst interface in history. It also didn't sound particularly great, but I'm like, something that for me as someone who studied sound design, works with synthesizers professionally, and I mean, interface. I have these things in front of me every day. I'm not a noob. 28 minutes to figure out how to change the amp. I'm like, this is not good enough. A fee was agreed, and it was higher than my normal fee, and I had to send it back. I said, I cannot, with good conscience, present this. So we all know Boss has some interface issues, but it's okay. It wasn't my thing. But nobody knows that. Nobody's seen that. So those videos are there for that. And also because that Marshall video, for example, I just noticed some things in the industry. I saw that interview with the Marshall dude, and then he posted it on LinkedIn. So many people that buy gear wouldn't be on LinkedIn seeing the comments under that video. I do. Then I hear the comments from some other people. Then I hear the comments from some builders maybe. And so I have the unique position of not being beholden to the stores, the manufacturers, to a degree because I need jobs. Yes. Will I not burn a bridge with someone because and then rather shut up about things? Depends on the situation. In the case of Marshall, the interesting thing is you call them out with a video saying Marshall will fail based on the observations that I have done on LinkedIn and the Marshall group and the comments and blah, blah, blah. You know what happened? That opened every door at Marshall for me because I all of a sudden had a call from the head of R&D who said to me, I agree 100% with everything you said in the video. Maybe not head of R&D, but second head of R&D. Head of marketing, 2-hour conversation. Leads to me being invited to Milton Keyes to the factory in August to visit and hang out.
Not too bad.
They would have never. They didn't know I existed. All of a sudden, they want to talk to me. So why wouldn't I make that video? And there are just some things that people, from a consumer point of view, don't have all the information. We just, John Simons and I, on the weekend, he was visiting from Sonic Draw Studio. We made a video called Brand Loyalty is Idiotic. Because I don't think people think about this. People think about the logo, the brand, especially for the big brands. Now with smaller brands like Friedman and stuff, we're very aware of who Dave is, right? We're very aware of the people. And you bet your sweet ass that if Friedman Amps all of a sudden was made by someone else as the guy, if Dave was gone and it was someone else, people would care, right? People would maybe not buy Friedman Amps anymore. So with Friedman, the loyalty to the logo is, I would say, very, very, almost non-existent. He managed to make it all about the person, which is what it should be. But with Marshall, why in the world do we have a brand loyalty to the logo? Well, I bought my Marshalls in the 80s and they're great amps. I will always buy Marshall. Not a single person that made those amps is involved with what's going on. Almost everyone there changed in 2020, even in Milton Keynes. None of the original designers are there. Are they the same people putting them together because you want to support the same people that made the amps that you love? Maybe not even. It's a different marketing team. The family's out. So the people getting your money, new people,
Well,
that technically...
family isn't out completely, but it is out. It's the second largest shareholders now, I think, but it's a minority in comparison, obviously.
So if you love the product that made you want to play guitar, and those products, like Marshall's, defined rock and roll, I give you that. But the things that defined rock and roll, that made that logo what it is, are not coming out of that factory now.
Yeah.
And they're made by completely different people with a different philosophy for maybe quality, for maybe who knows what. So why would your loyalty, based on your love for the old products, be still in that logo and for the brand? Your loyalty should move with people, not with logos. So many people left Marshall and formed Blackstar. Now, why are the diehard Marshall fans not Blackstar fans? Because shouldn't it move with the people? When you love Marshall, now you should love Blackstar. Because
I think
that's where they all went.
I think in the beginning of Blackstar and with the lineup they had in the beginning, they actually attracted a small portion, at least a certain portion of people who were diehard Marshall fans who were like, oh, these are the guys who made things happen, at the Marshall factory, in Marshall R&D and whatnot. And now they're going and they're leaving. It has to be a reason why they're leaving, because there's inside this company, it has to be unbearable to work. So in the beginning, it worked for them. But, and we recently had a video that was totally exploding when it came to, Blackstar versus Blue Guitar. But at some point, Blackstar wanted to, they essentially did the same thing that Marshall did. Instead of going with and exploring what their audience actually is, they went we gotta go into all audiences. So they made the modeling amps, then they made the fly amps, the portable things. Then they made this and that, and now they're essentially widespread in all the product categories because they wanted to grab from everyone. But everybody's doing that. Everybody is trying to do that.
I fully agree. Blackstar isn't what they used to be, but in general, Blackstar is more Marshall than
Marshall.
Than Marshall.
Yeah.
Or you look at Victory, where there's some Marshall people. But let's look at other examples. If you're a fan of AKG microphones and headphones, why in the world would you buy AKG? Because that brand's dead. All the people went to two different companies. The whole development team and marketing, everyone moved. And what AKG is now is a hollow shell that makes what they used to make. So the 414 is still there. That's all good. But if I actually want to support the people that made the product that I loved, then I'm buying Lewitt. I mean, look at the mics. That's literally 414s.
Yeah.
Okay. The Lewitt people are AKG and Austrian Audio. If you like AKG headphones, you're buying Austrian Audio headphones because that's the evolution. Because that team is now working for Austrian Audio. I understand that not everyone can have that information, but it's easy to obtain. And I think if you're a diehard fan of a brand, you should be a diehard fan of the people that make up that brand, because the building and the logo is nothing. It's all the people. And sticking with the logo and worshiping that shit instead of going with the people is dumb. I understand that the Les Paul defined rock and roll and a generation and many generations. And what Gibson did back in the day absolutely did. But what we have now behind that logo has absolutely nothing to do with what made us fall in love with it. It is the worst American corporate culture with lawsuits. The people are not the same for a long time. It's not the same factory. It's not the same machines. It is not the same approach to quality and customer support. If you fell in love with Gibson because the pages and slashes and what all their names are and Gary Moore's they played them, then do some research and find out who actually made the instruments that made you want to be like Zakk Wylde. Zakk Wylde's guitars were never made in the Gibson factory. They were not Gibsons. Slash's guitars likely not. If you're a diehard fan and you want them made the way they used to be made, buy a Heritage, because that's the old factory with the old machines. So I don't understand brand loyalty for a logo, because we human beings, we should support human beings, not a logo. And what Gibson wants, and I'm going to make a video about that, and I'm going to get lots of hate for that, but what Gibson actually wants is they want that logo to mean everything. The people investing, the group investing in Gibson, they have no interest in guitars. Guitars are nothing. It's like, who cares about it? Look at Marshall. 5% is amp sales. 5%. So that group that invested, and that group that makes 95% of the money, what are they interested in? One thing. Lifestyle brand, the logo. It's only the logo, nothing else. So with Gibson, it's the same thing. They want to make that logo into having the whole value. And guitars, whether they're good or not, who gives a shit anymore, because we stand for rock and roll. And they have, I think, I just guess, a good guess, they have a long-term plan to make that logo be worth a lot. Because if they get the rights for the shapes, then every Hello Kitty on a plastic purse in Japan that plays a flying V, they get a cut of this. That Gibson Les Paul shaped hotel in Florida, every room overnight is going to be a cut to Gibson. Every Slash bobblehead will have to pay licensing. They actually want Hollywood to pay them licensing fees for movies where Les Pauls appear. The Play Authentic video clearly pointed towards that, because they said, because Idiot Man Agnesi said in that video, Hollywood, contact us. Why the fuck would I contact you? I play a guitar in the video. I grab a guitar. You know what? How about we play another guitar? Who gives it? Contact us. What, to enter into a deal to pay you because we play that guitar? Be fucking happy that we play that guitar and promote it, you fucking idiots. Okay, I'm getting ranty, but that's what Gibson wants. Gibson wants to make money off of everywhere their shapes appear. And they're getting that by trying to sue small builders, extorting them with mafia methods into licensing deals. If they have enough small builders to say, oh, well, we're paying them licensing deals because we agree it's their shape. Well, they only agree because they had lawyers with baseball bats outside the doors. And then they can go to the judges and say, wait a second, we have 150 small builders that are paying us licensing fees to build those shapes. The industry agrees they're ours. That's what they're doing. They're not suing the big guys. They sued Sully Guitars over their V. It's a Rhodes V. It's not a flying V. It's not a Gibson. It's a Rhodes V. Looks completely different shape. It's a V shape, but that's it. That shape is a Jackson shape. So Gibson didn't send a cease and desist to Fender. Fender is Jackson because they have lawyers. That was too big of a nut to crack. They went to the small builder because they could ruin him with that. This is the biggest asshole methods in the industry. And that's what my point is, that's what these videos are about. Sharing a perspective. And nobody needs to share the view personally, but apparently it gets clicks, which is really sad.
Isn't that the very definition of dishonesty? When you think about a company that's just going around suing everybody so they can squeeze as much money as they can from companies who cannot defend themselves.
Oh, it's
I mean, that's a pretty shitty move to do. And then when, let's say you get a pedal and you make a review of it, people call you a paid shill. But then you think about it, someone who's trying to start a company in their basement, they're making guitars, these are popular models, and someone says, no, you're not allowed to do this. I'm the titan here. You're just nothing. You cannot afford a lawyer. I'm telling you, you could not make this model anymore. And he's going, well, what the fuck, man? Everyone's got some kind of Flying V or Les Paul looking thing. Why are you picking on me? Because you can't defend yourself.
Now I'm gonna step on some toes here, and I love my friends on YouTube, and I'm sorry for saying that. They know that's my opinion. What does someone think about someone pushing Gibson guitars? Where are their ethics? If these guys know that Gibson's doing all this stuff, and doing it to some people that they actually know in the industry, when you push Gibson brands, you're supporting that company. You're supporting Gibson.
Question.
And you, yeah.
When was the last time you saw a paid YouTube marketing on a Gibson guitar other than the ones that are really made by Gibson? Because whenever I see content about something new from Gibson coming, it's usually their CEO or the respective artist or someone from Gibson like appearing in that video, and it's on Gibson's channel. I don't see any sort of high value, high profile YouTuber making any review of the new Les Paul standard or something. I think they've quit doing that a long time ago.
Reviews, not. But there are certain channels. I talked to one yesterday, invited to the Gibson garage.
Yeah.
I was in London. I wouldn't set foot in there. For example, or he's got a big TikTok channel. They gave him a Slash Les Paul. So it's not a review; it's product placement.
Yeah.
Robert Baker's a good guy, but he loves the big ass, big old American brands, and he's doing a lot of stuff with Gibson, but it's through Sweetwater.
Okay.
And Gibson's a big brand for Sweetwater.
Yes.
Tyler Larson. Big PRS guy, but I mean, look, he's playing Gibsons, and that is very clearly facilitated through Gibson. So it's more product placement on massive channels because, of course, Gibson is so big and important that they can't possibly work with smaller channels, and they clearly wouldn't want reviews. They want to do product. They do work with some people. They were at Sweetwater Gear Fest, had their own booth with a highly paid professional camera team, and anyone could sit down and make a video in their booth. It would all be edited for them, and they get it from Gibson. They do it just slightly differently. And you do see channels, working with them. But even if channels have this is my favorite Gibson, I feel that's not a guitar. It's personally. Maybe it's going too far, but I feel don't show that guitar, because even if you bought it, you're promoting the brand. You're helping them make money. That money is going to lawsuits to sue very good people.
Yeah, and I think in order to make it clear to the people who are watching and listening this, I think we need to clarify one thing. What Gibson is trying to do is they're trying to set precedents. Obviously, that's why they're suing all these people. Because they have failed to do so in the past, as Fender as well. The only thing that Fender was able to license is their headstock. Everything else, or like to trademark, so to speak, is their headstock, and other companies cannot copy the headstock. They have to somehow alter the headstock in order to say to sell an S-shaped, an S-style guitar. The only company that has ever made it happen to trademark the entire of their design is Rickenbacker. Rickenbacker is the only company that has successfully defended all the trademarks and is even open to talk to people. Hey, you want to sell a guitar? And the funny thing is, it happened to Harley Benton actually. That when they started to sell guitars in the US, and in the bridge, if you behind the bridge, if you have some sort of letter Like Rickenbacker has the R letter in the bridge design. Now you could say, well, if I put an R letter in there, that's a clear trademark infringement. But it gets better. Rickenbacker and their trademark actually says you cannot have a single letter or some kind of sign in the bridge because it's trademarked. And they were able to defend that in numerous court cases. And I think Gibson now actively, I don't see Fender do that, but Gibson is trying to do the same thing. They're trying to set precedents. That's why they also were trying to sue DiMarzio to get the double cream trademark somehow, erased or something.
Who gives a shit? Play the thing, make music. Who gives a shit what those are? I'm sorry, they're idiot collectors. Play the fucking thing and make music with it. How about, Gibson, you make some good guitars? How about you position yourself at the head of the queue as the best in the game by just making great guitars? Which they can't. Everyone is outbuilding them.
Yeah.
Nick Huber is smacking their ass against the wall. Panucci for $5,000, which is a lot, is building the best Les Paul on the planet right now. And Tundler, and go to Sully. The Sully Trella I have I have Oni's mega high-end shit in here. It's the best guitar in the room. Ridiculous. If they just put all that money they're spending on lawsuits into building great guitars, people would flock to them. But selling guitars for $13,000 where the paint falls off, and then saying it was the customer's fault because they didn't treat it right, is just, that's ranty. There I get really pissed off. I was at Music Store in Cologne, and their guitar stands are all red because €8,000 custom shops lose the paint on day one. Friend of mine bought a custom shop, plays it, his jeans are red. If you call Gibson up, they're going to blame you for it because your humidity is wrong in the room. Give me a fucking break. And then here's a greenie for $50,000. You can also have dinner with Kirk Hammett. You idiot people that buy this, it's a guitar that looks like it. It will never, ever, 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 even remotely sound like it because it's a brand new guitar. Physics. Don't be stupid idiots. But of course, get a private jet to who knows where and buy a guitar for $50,000. Why not just be good people? Why not just work with other good people? Why not define yourselves by making good gear? What happened to just being good at shit?
What you're saying here alludes to what I was talking about earlier, which is we collectively, the companies, the YouTubers, don't understand shit about marketing. Because if you really think about it, Gibson is focusing on one word: heritage, their legacy, right? That's what they focus on. They want to make sure they're bringing everything back the way it was back in the 1960s, the era that everyone reveres from them. But none of the fucking people in this company, as far as I know, were there back in the 50s and 60s, right? This company has been sold so many fucking times. It is so far away from this legacy or heritage, if you will. They might as well change their philosophy, as far as I can see, and try to move forward with their customers, as opposed to trying to sell them something that alludes to this heritage that they have. Oh, this is how they were made back in the day, and that's what you're looking for. Those guitars that we were making, no, you weren't making them.
They would never
Someone
make them.
else.
They will never make them like this because back in the day, there was a small group of people with a passion for guitar building and reinventing the electric guitar. There was only one or two models at the point in time, and we make this look like more like an acoustic, shape-wise. I mean, their shape is a freaking acoustic guitar. It's literally a classical guitar shape. All good, but they made that with passion. Did they think about buying yachts? No. They thought about scraping a binding by hand. There was passion for it. And nowadays, however much heritage they want to bring into the brand, whoever is scraping that binding is thinking about, I have no health insurance. And they're thinking about what is the bottom line for the stockholders. That's a point of view when you're the CEO of how much money am I pouring in this, who has health insurance, how happy are my employees, but in the end, the stockholders have to have enough money. That's a prioritizing between the people, the quality of the gear, and the money people. As soon as the money people are here, your priorities are skewed. Leo and the original people they didn't have the money people. They were just passionate about making instruments. And a lot of the small luthiers are passionate about making instruments. I talked to some that have very low prices because they say, I just like making these guitars. I want people to play these guitars. Yes, I could raise my prices, but I don't want to. And those are the people being sued.
Yeah, but that's the thing. A lot of people, and it relates to something that you said earlier. People are somehow attached to the brand and the brand's legacy and heritage and whatnot, but they don't question who is actually running that company. And if I throw out the name Andy Mooney, everybody's going to say, who the fuck is Andy Mooney? Well, Andy Mooney was the CEO of Disney or Disney Entertainment or something like that, and it is currently the CEO of the Fender Corporation. So we have people in positions in some of these bigger companies, same as Marshall, who have who are not from the industry. They have no clue about what we are about, as consumers, as guitar players, like at all. And they're trying to take cues from other industries and try to apply them into this one. Well, guess what? Guess what?
I mean,
it's not
JC at Gibson.
Yeah,
JC at Gibson.
Yeah.
He worked for Levi's.
Yeah.
What does he know about guitars? Clearly didn't know anything because he's gone. And why would the consumers keep pouring their money
he's no clue.
into the only thing that's left with that company, which is the logo? The logo is the only thing that's left. So you keep pouring your money there. Maybe you find someone that is passionate about Les Pauls and builds them with the highest attention to detail, like Angelo von Marienburg von Pauly Guitars or Jörg Tandler. I have a friend, and I have the highest respect for him. Sorry, Patrick, but I have the highest respect for you. Patrick is a massive Slash fan. Massive. It was always Slash, Guns N' Roses. And the biggest dream for him was to own a great Les Paul. And he realized, I will not get that from Gibson. So he is a teacher, and for years now, all the money is being made teaching. He drives a shit car, lives in a small place. He says, before I start a family, that all the money will go into my dream rigs. So he has every kind of plexi there is, from Friedman to Marshall to Metropolis to Bogner. He's got them all, and buys the highest end gear. And he has a Dream Les Paul, and now waited 3.5 years for it, and now has a second one on order. And he went to Jörg Tandler, who makes ridiculously amazing instruments, and he bought that because he knows there's no way at any price point Gibson can deliver that guitar. He was not blinded by that logo, even though he really wants the Slash tone and all that, but he knows, the only thing that's different is the headstock. If you can live with that headstock not being the same thing, you have options. I have 3 Heritages, and they are fantastic guitars. When you play my Panucci, your jaw's gonna drop, and you're gonna go home never being able to play another guitar. It's amazing stuff. And anyone chasing that Gibson headstock, I'm gonna say they want to be someone, but they're not necessarily all about the music. Because if you really compare the guitars, you're not gonna walk out of the shop with a Gibson. And I'll tell you one thing. It saddens me. Should I show it? I show it. Wait.
That being said, what was that?
I'm not a gold top guy, by any means.
But that's a gold top.
But that's a gold top. It's not even an aged gold top. I wanted it aged. They didn't send it to me aged.
Yeah.
This is, for me, an ugly, boring guitar. This is a Heritage custom core gold top. Yeah, wrong headstock. There. It beats my other heritages, and they're also custom cores. This is one of the finest Les Pauls I know. It's an amazing guitar. It's a great tool. If you want Les Paul sound, that's the one. Even though it doesn't speak to me visually. But when I released the video, I wanted to put links under the video, right? And went to Anderton's. And wanted to put Anderton's links underneath. And it is in the Anderton shop for £2,700. In Germany, it's 4,800 euros. It's an expensive guitar. So I call up Lee Anderton. I'm like, Lee, what's going on here? Are these broken? He's like, nope. We reduced the price. No one bought them. We reduced the price again. And I'm like, first of all, they're relatively new. And secondly, you reduced the price by like $2,000. He's like, yeah, and they're still not moving. And when people come in the shop, they will buy a 335 from Heritage. They will buy the other models. They will not buy a Les Paul single-cut guitar from Heritage because of the headstock. They will walk out with a Gibson that is massively inferior. And even though, for the same price of a standard Gibson, you can now buy a Heritage custom core, one of the best guitars out there, they stayed in the shop. My links to those two guitars, didn't sell them. He said people do not want to buy anything in this shape that's not a Gibson. Quality doesn't matter to them. Customer support doesn't matter to them. Sound doesn't matter to them. It's looking like Slash. It makes me sick. But this is us guitar players. This is how we are chasing that logo. We are chasing the I wanna be Jimi Hendrix because he's very famous for playing a Les Paul. It's just sad. I mean, you want a Marshall? Many people now understood, then you buy a Friedman or something else. Or, there's other. With Marshall, people are now wising up to it.
Yeah.
And Marshall might be able to pull that around with the right designers. Gibson still has a hold on people's ideals and what a Les Paul is supposed to be. But $2,000 off. One of the best deals in the industry with those two guitars. Lee said, we can't move them. How sad is that, huh?
Pretty sad.
But I'll make a video. I'll make a ranty video about Gibson. I'll finally tell people what I think is happening, and then they can decide for themselves whatever's happening. People say, well, still another rant video? Why are you doing this? It's getting old. I'm like, well, first of all, don't click on it. You clicked on it. I mean, it's not my fault. And because you click on it, they get 3 times the views than my normal videos. So I just sit there in a stupid shirt and talk into one camera, no editing, and I get more clicks. And you telling me stop doing it.
Yeah.
Why? I mean,
I guess I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to do rant videos.
I mean, I spend 2 full days with product shots, write a full track. I mean, work myself into the gear, try to find out. I put a lot of work into my videos. 5,000 clicks, if I'm lucky. And then I sit on the balcony, drink coffee, and say Marshall will fail. Completely improvised, talking to a camera, release that 60,000 clicks. So you're gonna tell me not to do that? Just stop clicking on it. It's like the people getting pissed off about the boob girls. If you don't want those videos, stop clicking on them. Okay? So I'm not gonna come up with fake rant topics. If I have something to say, and over the years, because I never did these editorial kind of videos, over the years, things have built up. The Gibson topic is a topic that I wanted to talk about for a long time. It's gonna burn bridges, but that's fine. We just made one about brand loyalty, what we just talked about. And when John was here, he's like, let's talk about tone wood. I'm like, oh, God. So there is a 1.5 hour discussion about tone wood, but I think we did bring it down to essential wisdom. Because there's tone and there's sound. And those are 2 different things. And we're trying to define what makes up a guitar sound and what people mean when they talk about guitar tone, because I think before you talk about tone wood, you have to define what is tone.
Yeah.
Because tone is
true.
not what it sounds like.
No.
It isn't. And we go into this, and we go a bit into physics and the harmonic series, and in the end, spoiler alert, everything has an effect on what we hear, but a different effect. A guitar will not affect, anything in this guitar will not affect the saturation in the tone. That's the gain of the amp. Your guitar speaker will not affect the saturation in any way. Your guitar speaker will not have any effect on dynamics, not the slightest. Your guitar will have only a very minute effect on frequency response. You know, how much low end, mid, and top end is there. It has, but only a little bit. Even your amp has a small effect on frequency response. That's all speaker. But dynamics, that's primarily guitar and some amp and so on. So the thing is, none of it is irrelevant and none of it is more relevant. They're just relevant for different things. And when we talk about sound, we have to talk about the amp and the cab. When we talk about tone, we have to talk about more the guitar and the amp, and so on and so on. So we really go into that. And again, it's the opinion of two guys sitting on a balcony in stupid shirts. Mm-hmm. If someone else has a different opinion, they can go fuck off.
They need to.
If I can if I can bring this all to like a close.
Yes.
Because there's been an underlying theme throughout the whole podcast.
See, now I need to run. I'll be back in 5 minutes, okay? Sorry.
Okay.
No worries.
Yeah. I'll wait because I want to get his take on what I'm about to say. So
Yeah, no worries.
do you have to run there, Frank?
No,
I'm reading. No,
I'm
okay.
good.
Because I was reading your body language. You look like you had to bring the podcast to a close.
I just had a few. I just had a few more dropouts than usual. Like you guys frozen.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, we had a few with you too, but nothing major, nothing that we haven't seen before.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, it's
I
just
think we're going to be good.
Internet speed and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm hardwired into the computer. I went and got my cable, and I'm just like plugged directly into the modem just to make sure I have like a constant stream and no dropouts. Yeah. Oh, hopefully that helps a bit, but it seems to because I have 99% uploaded on my end, so I think I should be good.
Yeah, same here. But I think one thing is not related with the other. I don't think that the percentage amount has to do anything with anything. It's the live stream part that's suffering from certain issues with the connection, with the bandwidth.
Okay.
And apparently my bandwidth is kind of shitty right now because I'm trying to receive an email on my phone and
not working.
And it's like loading for ages. So,
oh shit.
Fuck that.
Yeah, I called the guy from Invaders Amplification, so my Rivera is all good. He fixed it. He managed to convert the transformer into 110 volts for Canada.
Yeah.
So that means I'm going to be able to play it out there without having to have a power transformer.
Yeah.
Because when I got in touch with him, I said, like, look, is it possible to convert a 240 to 110? He said, well, it's most likely, like, if there are the two cables in there that I can adjust. He goes, I'm going to be able to do it. He goes, otherwise, we're going to have to change out the power transformers. He goes, that's way more costly. So I checked the amp. He goes, no, I can do it. I just rewire it differently, and it's going to work. He goes, the only thing you're going to have to do is change the fuse.
Yes. For
the 110 volts. I was like,
so has usually a higher value for the 110 volts, the fuse. And then, I think that guys like Paul Rivera, they build the amps with transformers in place that would have taps, on the transformer to be able to easily convert it.
Oh yeah, man, because the transformers in that M60 are fucking massive. Like the amp weighs a lot just because of those transformers, but I'm happy I don't have to change them because my experience in the past is that if you change a transformer, you kind of change the sound of the amp to a certain degree.
100%.
Yeah, so I didn't want to do that.
Fuck power amp tubes, really. People are talking way too much about power amp tubes. If you change the transformer from a good one to a super good one, it's going to dramatically affect the amp's tone. 100%. I once did it, or I helped do it in the store that I was working, like a smaller store, and the guy wasn't happy with the sound of his what was it? I think it was a super reverb. And our technician changed the power transformer to a company that is now like super known. Back then they weren't, Mercury Magnetics. And it's just like the difference was massive. Like this thing had so much more balls. The headroom increased massively. You were unable to get this thing to sort of saturate or overdrive naturally without pedals, which before, if you were like 4 or 5 or something, it would immediately do that. So yeah, it definitely does make a difference. 100%. So Jonathan, you were saying, in order to bring that to a close.
Yeah, the concept. See, I got a really fucking bad memory. So it's the whole ADHD thing. It's like if I'm on a roll and I'm like saying something and then I go, it's like squirrel, and forget it. I think what I was gonna say was this concept of honesty and marketing. And Henning, I know we don't know each other. We've never spoken before this podcast, but I've known about your channel for a very long time. And when I started to do YouTube, you were among the people that I was basing the concept of my YouTube channel on. So I'm not kissing your ass. I'm just telling you that's part of it, because I always found that channels like yours, what you were doing that was different than other people is that there is some of that educational stuff in there. So you're sharing your opinions, but I've always, I don't know your background, but I've also kind of always thought that maybe you've worked your ass off in studios and you kind of know what works and what doesn't. So when you're trying out these amps, you know if this is like gig worthy, studio worthy, or more like general consumerism kind of thing. Like this is an amp for everybody, but I sure as fuck wouldn't use it in a studio because it doesn't cut it. Sounds fine on its own, but it's not the sound that the pros would go after. And I started to do that stuff too. I went to studios, I studied in audio engineering, I produced some albums, recorded. I was the session guy sometimes, so I've had to wear many hats. And I ended up at a place where I know what sounds good. So if I'm playing with an amp and I know okay, this on its own might be very mid-humpy, might not sound as pleasant, but you stick a fucking SM57 without thinking about mic placement, you just stick it in front, you start recording, you're probably going to get some really cool tones. If you spend more time with the mic placement and making sure that, you're not peaking or anything, you're probably going to get some really fucking cool tones. And if you know how to dial in the amp, you know which guitar to use, which pedals to use, then you get some great results. So when people come in, they listen to your channel and they go, holy fuck, that guitar sounds great. Of course it sounds great because you've already put in the work. That is your credibility because you know how to make it sound good. Someone that listens to you says, you know what? I don't like this guitar. I don't like this pedal. Fine, that's your opinion, but you did your best to represent it with the knowledge that you've acquired over the years, working with other people, recording. With a company, what they do is that they are going to hire YouTubers that know what they're doing, have the audience, and they're hoping that we can highlight the cool stuff with their products. And now, when people say you're a paid shill, are they saying you're a paid shill because you make it sound good? Do they say you're a paid shill because you receive the product at the same time as all the other big YouTubers? Where does the mistrust come from? And now my channel is nowhere near your size, but I've been doing this for 5 years now. And I'm starting to get the paid shill comments now. And my theory on that is because my channel is growing. When it was small, people thought, well, there's no way he can get paid for this because his channel is not big enough. But then as your channel gets bigger, you get more views, you get the people calling you a paid shill, saying you're dishonest, you make everything sound good, and you get all these comments. And I think that's just that as YouTubers are rising to the top and they get more views, they're not attracting as many people as like they used to in the beginning, where they have like, okay, I'm just going to watch this guy. Oh, fuck. He's got like 500 subscribers. Fuck it. I'm getting out of there. Now you're getting like the diehards that are just searching for a certain product. Now they're coming in and now they're scrutinizing you because now you're bigger as opposed to when you're smaller. Did you find that the criticism over the years has become bigger? Do you get more of that paid shill kind of thing?
That only has happened lately, or in the last couple of years. But the it's the same thing as like, the band is really, really cool, and then they get popular, and all of a sudden you don't like them anymore because everyone else likes them. So,
yeah,
your channel is cool because it's niche, and I found this guy and he speaks to me directly, and this channel is so big he can't possibly, he gets paid for it, and all of a sudden it's not cool anymore because it's not the cool channel. It might have something to do with that. You're right that I come to it with experience. A lot of the albums I did, and I did a shit ton, I did with a Pod 2 rack mounted. I knew nothing about, I know notes, that's what I do. Didn't know a lot about guitar sound. Interestingly, it also doesn't matter because not a single one of literally over thousands of reviews of my albums ever said that's not good guitar sound. Not one. Not one word about guitar sound either way. So when I came back to Germany in 2006, I started working with amps and getting a couple of amps and miking them, and I was much more happy with the guitar tones. Didn't sell more albums or make people say positive or negative things about the guitar sounds. But I do review gear based on an experience of where it sits in a mix, not based on I stand in front of the 412 and it goes chunk and it's all that low end, because in the end we don't need that anyway. We're going to EQ that out. So I always approach it with how does it work in a mix. And I do think that there are a lot of YouTube channels that do not come to it with that experience. They might get that experience over time. Fluff is, for example, one of those guys who says, when I started my YouTube channel, I never recorded the guitar before, which is very interesting. Not saying that he doesn't know how to. He does know how to. It's, he gets great sounds, and he plays great riffs, and the music he does is pretty impressive. And there's other guys who have done this almost since the beginning, who, when they put a mic in front of a cab, is still horrible, and they literally don't know what they're doing at all. A lot of these channels are not coming from experience. But then we got Pete Thorne, and we got all experience, Some people come from, I worked in bands, I've done this, I've been producing, and all of a sudden I start doing this stuff and I come with a lot of knowledge. And some people might get the knowledge as they do YouTube. Some people might do YouTube and never get the knowledge and just approach it as, I'm the hobby guy, I'm you. Which is also valid. Ryan, 60 Cycle Hum, told Ryan, hey, can you help me push my drum programming course? He's like, I've never programmed drums in my life. I actually don't record at home. Ryan records guitar tones. He does not work on songs, produce anything, mix anything. He doesn't claim to, but he has no experience with this. He says, I play guitar like someone just plays guitar, that's it. And he plays in church. Those are the two things, which makes him relatable to people doing that. If people come to Ryan for advice on is this gonna work in a metal mix, he should say, I have no answer. He probably will say that because that's not his expertise.
Yeah.
So it's important to know a little bit about the people's background and what they're saying, how valid is it based on the experience? I hope that when people hear the songs that I sometimes do in my videos, that alone shows up. Well, he knows a bit of what he's doing, because that's not a shitty, home production. As for, I was going to say that, wait. Paychill comments could mean he's being paid to say good things about the product. Okay, let's assume that is true. Let's assume I say good things about the product. You're still hearing it, right? You're still hearing it. You still see me fiddle with the knobs. So what does that then mean? Then the only thing the comment can mean is I'm actively lying with the sounds. So if they can't trust what I'm saying, okay, I might be paid to say this is the best thing ever. It also will blow you and it makes coffee. By the way, I need you to work on that product, Frank. Thank you very much. Please do it now. Stick it in here and coffee comes out here. Hopefully not at the same time.
Where does the cream come from?
I was just going to say, and it could be called the coffee and cream. Oh God.
No thanks.
We are really right there with the same thought. That's horrible. So the point is, let's assume I will say the best things about the pedal. But then the page shell also means that I will take the sound that comes out of it, which you actually can follow because I'm tweaking things, that I will actually apply some post-processing that will make it sound ridiculously better than it actually does. And let's go into this for a millisecond. How in the world would I do that? The only way to do that would be to apply an IR later that I'm not revealing. Which is weird because let's take this pedal for example. Once this light is red, it's that speaker. You can see that I'm using that speaker. So the only thing I could possibly do are two things. Apply an IR after, which means applying an IR to an already IR'd sound. I can't do that. That's going to make it worse. Or let's say it has some massive low hump. Stupid sub bass that makes it sound horrible. I could EQ that out with a high-pass filter. I could do a notch because it's got some really bitey kind of top end. But can I drastically change the sound of this to make a shit sound better? There's way more to a sound than EQ. And I cannot change these things.
Yeah, that's the old we'll fix it in a mix theory that just doesn't work. It never works. Yep. And people who say
I do have full disclosure on my aux, because it's just always on. Everything I do, because I never think about it, goes through a bit of 1176. So there's a bit of compression on most everything.
So you're cheating.
You what? Yeah. You could argue that. Okay. However, anyone recording their guitars probably will put on a little bit of compression, and I have everything going through a Mark EQ4, where I don't think I've done a lot. If I did anything, a 5K shelf to push the top end a bit, because you know what, Chrysaor Algae in any mix will push 5K a lot. I will do that in any mix. So realistically, that's what those guitars would sound like in anyone's mix, because that's what you do. It is not going to be an A-B where you say immediately, oh my God, that sounds amazing. Oh my God, that sounds like shit. No, these are the most subtle things, a tiny bit of compression and a bit of EQ. Is it the perfect raw sound? It isn't. Is it lying? Fuck no, it isn't. Not everyone, but most people say under my videos, this is definitely the channel where I bought the gear and it sounded exactly like that at home. It's also my shitty playing, because when you buy something that Pete Thorne showed, it's not going to sound at home like Pete Thorne played it, because he's great. And I don't warm up before I shoot, and I play like shit when I play. because
Pete
it's
Thorne-
not about me. It's
Pete Thorne always sounds like he just put down the tracks on something that's gonna be heard on the radio. You know, that's what he does.
I don't play any famous riffs or licks. Everything I play really just comes out of my fingers at that point in time. It's to show the gear off, and also I think it's a great indicator of how inspiring it is. Because if you see me react well and all of a sudden really cool riffs and licks come out, then it's inspiring. If you see me fight with it, then that's an honest representation of me not gelling with the gear.
But it is
So no matter
Please.
no matter what you would say there, it wouldn't matter because people would see you struggle. And that's something Frank and I talked about before, where I think YouTube is a place where people can smell bullshit from a mile away. Like they know if you're disingenuous about something, they're going to fucking know. Because here's the thing. Like you just said, you got a piece of gear, you're playing, and your playing is uninspired. And you're saying, yeah, this is a good product, but every time you play a riff, you look like you're bored out of your fucking mind.
It happens.
Right? It happens. Now, does that mean that the product is subpar? No, it just means that for you, you know it's good. You can be analytical about it, but it's not something that inspires you personally, but you're still doing your due diligence by going through something that you came up with, saying, okay, I'm going to go through all these things. I'm going to showcase what this does, but it's not something you would buy for yourself.
But which is also why the paid chill comment is completely asinine, because I can't lie about the sounds. Only if I would massively EQ them. I can't lie about the playing. It shows in the playing. If you have a shit product, not even Pete Thorne or anyone can smile and go like, "Oh my god!" And listen, if the sustain isn't there and it doesn't sing and it's got some bitey crap, you cannot in a guitar review fake that. It's like a drone review where you want to show how great it flies and the damn thing doesn't even get off the ground. There's nothing you say about it that's going to make that look better if the damn thing doesn't work. Okay? The only way to be a real paid chill, that is the only way, is if I actually, and I will be honest with you, if I actually show this pedal, tell you you hear it, but I'm actually going into a plexi.
Yeah.
If I'm actually showing dishonestly that this is what you're hearing, but I'm playing you something more expensive or different. And there is sometimes in cases where it doesn't matter, in the produced track, in the beginning, there might be a guitar shown that actually isn't on the tracks. Because I record the tracks, I might use my ONS and I'm doubling them left and right, and it all sounds good. And then I'm going in front of the camera to sometimes, depending on what track it is, because it was difficult to record anyway, sometimes then I'm playing it, but I'm not actually recording it, I'm mimicking it for the camera. Okay, that just is a more convenient way to get the tracks down. And to make the video more interesting, for the other doubled guitar, I might pick up a different guitar. So you might actually not hear two different guitars, you might hear the same guitar being doubled. But visually, it's more appealing to have a second guitar. In that case, the video isn't about the guitar.
Yeah.
So, it might actually not be relevant at all. That's not actually the guitar that has been tracked. So yes, here or there, I might cheat a bit. But never ever will I do that and try to dupe the audience. Interestingly, and I don't know how that is in my head, and it's tough to believe, interestingly, I never think about affiliate when I make videos. Because there are big incentives for me to do videos for products that Thomann carries. But I do videos for products that Thomann doesn't carry. So I'm losing that link. I'm doing a Bad Cat, that's what it's called, Bad Cat amps, 5 now. Neither Sweetwater nor Thomann has them. I'm losing out probably hundreds impossible affiliate links and money by doing videos for those 5 amps.
Sweetwater doesn't have Bad Cat? Why is that?
No, I don't know. Thomann doesn't have them. Sweetwater doesn't have them. So,
Yeah.
But interestingly, what I say in a video, I mean, technically I should say it's the best ever and buy it and it's brilliant. But when I critique and someone doesn't buy the product, even though I've already been paid for the video, that actually takes money out of my pocket because I'm getting a percentage when someone buys it. So one could say there's most certainly an incentive for me to be only positive, right? It never enters my mind. I know that's difficult to believe, and you have to believe in people with ethics, which nowadays, difficult. I get that. But it never enters my mind when I say positive or negative things, how that will reflect in my monthly sales at these shops. Because I know that in the long run, if people stay with the channel and they watch the channel and they don't buy certain gear because I gave them certain advice, they will come back to the channel, they will buy something else. Richard Dawkins has a chapter in The Selfish Gene that is called Nice Guys Finish First, where if you do the right thing, in the long run, it will absolutely benefit you and everyone. So it's about vampire bats. And they fly out of the roost and they come back, and some bats couldn't do that and they haven't eaten. Or they couldn't find a cow to suck on. So what the vampire bats will do, they will hang next to each other and they will let the cats that didn't feed, the bats that didn't feed on them, sharing their meal that they got. They will let them bite them and they will let them suck the blood. Where's the benefit? And so the question is, are bats altruistic? No, they're not. Because on another day, where the bat that gave the blood couldn't feed, they will still eat because the others will let them feed off them. So in the end, the point is, having ethics and being moral, even though it might not be good for me today, my belief is in the long run, it'll be okay. It'll be good. It'll be the right thing to do. And I know that is, of course I'm saying that, and I know it's difficult to believe it. All I can do is say it and hope that it sinks in. Maybe it doesn't. What do I know?
Well, if it's for some kind of comfort, you can't get more dishonest than Donald Trump selling Bibles. There's always this is the best Bible you've ever read. You can't get a better Bible than this, and I'm not the only one saying it. Okay.
And the interesting thing is, they believe him.
Yeah.
But I'm a paid shill.
Who's the paid shill now? Donald.
That is shit that makes me very depressed.
Yes.
They will buy that. They will believe all that.
Yeah.
Yet I say the Tone X1 is a game changer because it is. And it's frustrating. Look, I made those videos. I spoke my piece. Believe it or not, but that's what's going on. And again, I've got my GoPro doing time-lapse right now. People can follow in a few days, and I'll put some music under it, and you can see what I do for several days. And if they actually believe I'm this rich man who plays guitar all day, well, watch those videos.
And here's the thing. I like that you do these videos. I might not always agree with every single thing you say in these videos because I might have a different insight into things, or I just might have a different opinion. But I like that you're doing them because I think that people need to be informed about this very small niche industry that we're moving, and they need to know what's going on. I think transparency is always the way forward. So keep doing them.
Well, of course, because you two fuckers go watch this, and then you have a topic for your next podcast. Because I talk about honesty, you have a whole episode about honesty that I had to watch on the crapper, and then I talk about Marshall, and you guys talk about Marshall. Of course, you like them.
To be fair, no. to be fair, the dishonesty the YouTube dishonesty episode was a result of, yes, partially your video, but all the other videos as well, because there was a stream of videos talking about honesty and marketing campaigns. So we were like, okay, why is this coming up? And we felt the urge to talk about it. But the Marshall thing, that I can't give you credit for that. I read the interview and I was like, okay, 5%, this is bullshit. We need to talk about this.
And the guy saying, well, we really want to focus on this and I'm like, this is not of importance. And did you just see that I got the newsletter from Teufel that Teufel is doing Bluetooth speakers with Fender?
Oh, no, I didn't see that, but that's interesting.
Teufel has 3 Bluetooth speakers.
Yeah.
They have a grill that might be Fenderish. They have the Fender times Teufel on it.
Yeah.
And they have a white piping.
Oh.
And they look nothing like guitar speakers, nothing. They look like modern Teufel Bluetooth speakers. And they're saying California styling looks like a Fender. It's Bluetooth speakers. The only Fender about them is that it says Fender on them. So I just got the newsletter, and I'm a Teufel fan. I've got lots of stuff for my home stereo from them. And I replied to the newsletter saying, maybe you should have a guitar channel review these. What do you think? And I sent them the link to my channel. But a Fender is trying this with Teufel. Look, it's a great company. Teufel is a good company, but look at these. They look nothing like an amp. At least the Marshall stuff looked like amps. And the only thing that says Fender is the Fender logo. But hey, lifestyle, you know?
Lifestyle. It's all about lifestyle. I would like to close this episode because we are like approaching the 3 hours, which is
way over. And I got shit to do. Make the money. Lie to people. I mean, be nice. I mean, be honest about what?
I told you the whole thing.
Hey,
the
chill.
whole thing is a scam. The whole thing is a scam.
Well, you know what I got to do is go back, watch more of your videos, so I can say to Frank, let's piggyback off of everything he's doing, and just keep making podcast episode about those.
hey, whatever pays the bills.
Whatever pays the bills.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are YouTubers. You're clearly ordering, a Lamborghini next week because of this podcast. I mean, we all know this shit makes us a lot of money, right?
Yeah, well, I'm returning my blue one because I don't like the color. So I'm getting a red one instead.
Yeah.
By the way, I just showed this to Andrew. I'll throw this in before we close. 2 videos that came out actually right after each other. My Harley Benton ST Modern video, great guitar, for the money. 50,000 clicks, amazing. And my Marshall Will Fail video, 60,000 clicks. And we looked at ad revenue. Because all these people always think that, we are rich because of YouTube. And why do companies pay us? Because we already get all the YouTube money, right?
Yeah. The millions.
The thing is, they don't understand how much YouTube actually pays. So I'm amazed that Marshall video, full ad revenue to me, and I take out a lot of the ads in the middle. I think it probably had 2 ads, that was it. YouTube wants to put 15 in there. I erased them all. So my ad revenue on it, now I was impressed, was €300. That's good.
Yeah, it's good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
If I did 20 videos a month at 300, if they all did like that, that would not be a bad salary.
No.
Then the Harley Benton video, which was literally similar clicks, had a 7/8 version of You'll Be in My Heart by Phil Collins in it. I completely butchered it. And then YouTube says, you have to share that with the copyright holder. It's not a copyright strike, but ad revenue will be shared, right? Well, now we have a very clear comparison. A video that doesn't have to share and a video that has to share. What do you think the share is?
1% for you?
Oh, it's better than that.
Okay. 5%.
I think it's 3. I think it was 3. The one video made me €300. The other 11. So when YouTube says ad revenue share with the copyright holder, which is, of course, I did a whole new version, but it is a cover. Phil needs to get his money, right? but the share is, I think, what is 11 out of 300? I think it was 3%. That's what yeah. So it's not a 50-50 split. It's not a 60-40 split. It's will give you some sense. So when you look at Leo Moracchioli with Frog Leap Studios covers, you look at Harry and the guitar, Harry Holden, who does all these amazing, this is the guitar part, but he actually plays it over the original recording, so he doesn't have to replicate the whole recording, and it's about the guitar. I assume he makes, it doesn't matter how much money he makes. Just gotta open the door, wait, I'll be right back. Sorry.
What he's saying, though, is true about the whole ad revenue thing, because I remember I did a video for Wampler where I was trying to replicate like famous tones from like famous guitar players and bands and stuff like that. And I got nicked really, really hard from Dream Theater.
Someone who wants to buy pedal.
Anything that's John Petrucci or Dream Theater, you don't touch it unless you want to lose your cash. Yeah. And I did it twice without thinking. Like the first time I was like, oh, it's Dream Theater, I'll put it in the video. So I put out the pedal video. Fuck, man, I got nicked. They're taking everything. And then the second time I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do Dream Theater. I'll go with John Petrucci. So I find the song. No, same fucking thing. Like there's artists out there that are like, you're not touching my stuff. Like if you do it, I'm the one making the money. So that makes doing covers a fucking pain in the ass, because covers, technically, they're less about product placement and way more about the entertainment part of it. So if you're like putting all this work, because I put a fuck ton of work in that video, man. I had the pedal. I'm trying to replicate sounds from bands like Iron Maiden and stuff like that. So, and I think I did fairly okay with it. I got like 600 views in a year, which is nothing.
I got no views. I get no views on the music. Yeah. But the important thing is, for me, doing that 7/8 version of that song, I don't care if I got that's $300. I should care about $300. But the thing is, I was passionate about doing the music. I did a metal version of You'll Be In My Heart, which was emailed by Mark Mencina, the composer of Tarzan, to Phil Collins.
Really?
So Phil might have heard it now. But I love doing this stuff because it's music. And if we forget about the music, if I don't do the songs, if I'm inspired to do a metal arrangement of a Disney song and I do it, I want to share that with my viewers. I put it in a video. I know that it's killing my income. But you know what? I'm passionate about it. If we lose that, then why do we even have gear? If we lose the passion for the music, then what's the point?
True.
Close this out. I got people buying pedals. I got editing to do. Okay. I got pizza to eat somewhere.
Okay. Henning, thank you for taking the time. That was fun. We need to do it again at some point. And
you got me in a lot of trouble. I talked about boobies and mathginas and... Don't release this.
Well, Jonathan said titty fuck, so you're not... Well,
I did not.
You did not. Several times.
Thanks God we're not making kids entertainment here. We're not doing that.
Nope.
So, we wish everybody a great rest of the week. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon and all the other stuff that's essentially free for you. And until the next episode, we'll salute you. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye.